the fastest game on foot.
NCAA Championship Lacrosse, the Division II Championship, brought to you by Natural Light Beer. Taste is why you'll switch to Natural Light. Welcome to Garden City, Long Island, the home of Adelphi University, where today we're going to bring you the NCAA Division II Lacrosse Championship between Adelphi University and Loyola College of Baltimore. Hi, I'm Bob Smith, along with Leif Elsmo, and we're here to bring you all the exciting action of this championship game. Leif, a key to today's game is going to be experience.
That's right, Bob. This Adelphi team is a great team. They only lost 2 games this year, both Division I teams. They're very deep in talent. They have All-Americans at attack, midfield, and defense. And maybe most importantly is the fact that this is their 4th championship game. It's only Loyola's first. This is also their 3rd in a row. I asked Coach Paul Daugherty just how important is this championship experience.
There's no way of telling, Leif, exactly how much of a factor that playoff experience will be. Everybody on our team has a feeling that it's a very positive factor. We have the experience, we've been there, we've experienced pressure, we've experienced the notoriety, and we feel that it's going to be a very positive factor for us. How much of a factor it'll be with Loyola not having been there again is a matter of conjecture at this point, but we feel it's a positive statement for Adelphi.
You know, Neef, another key factor in this is going to be the attacks. Both teams have outstanding attacks.
Both very high scoring. And you know, more importantly for Loyola, Bob, is the fact that Gary Hanley has had a pretty bad year for an All-American. He is very talented, but he's been struggling for his senior year. Coach Jay Conner is a little bit concerned that he may not be up to his game. He struggled through the season. He didn't even score a goal or an assist against William and Mary about 3 games ago. Came back to have a good game against Salisbury State, scoring 5 goals. And I talked to Jay Conner today and asked him how important is Gary Hanley's game. Is his All-American going to determine the success of today's game?
Gary Hanley is ready to go, and the whole team really is ready to go. We've got to play a team game today in order to beat Adelphi. I don't think Gary, regardless of the slump that he's been in the last several weeks, is going to be a one-man winner for us today. The whole team's going to have to come together because I'm expecting a great deal of press ride and close, tough defense from Adelphi, and everyone's going to have to work together today to win it.
So there you have it. Gary Hanley, the key to Loyola, and the attack for Adelphi, the key to their game. So stay tuned. We'll be back with the starting lineups in just a moment.
Hey, Tommy, you just get in?
Yeah.
And you switched to Natural Light.
No, it's always been my favorite. Natural Light tastes better to me.
And it's all natural ingredients.
Hey, Tommy, your wife just called. She said to tell you, play me or trade me.
Is that right? Yeah. Another round of Natural Light for everybody. And 1 to go.
Natural Light. Taste is why you'll switch.
I didn't know his wife played baseball.
We're just about ready for the opening face-off of the NCAA Division II Lacrosse Championships. Adelphi University in yellow with brown pants and Loyola College in their green jerseys with white numbers. This should be an exciting game, Leif.
Bob, it's going to be a high-scoring game by all indications. You've got a fantastic attack led by Gary Hanley, and there they are right on your screen. Ben Hagberg and Alex Gavrelis rounding out the attack for Loyola. All these guys can score, Hanley being the All-American. The midfields are led by David Maines, Mark Brennan with him, and Mike Fiocco. And on the defense, Joe Carrier, Wade Dowsis, and Mo Bozell, number 31, the best one. Of course, in the goal, Steve McCloskey, a very tough goaltender for Loyola. The Adelphi starting lineup on the attack: Pat Burke, number 9, Kenny King, and 30, Eddie Hughes. 2 great players, Eddie Hughes being an All-American. On midfield, we've got Kevin Mason, Dave Litzman, and John Castagna. And on defense, Ed Menengus, Tom Bertans, and Charlie Wilcox. And of course, in the goal, Steve Shelley.
You know, Steve Shelley is reported to be one of the best goalies in the country, and of course, Coach Paul Daugherty believes that. There we see the opening face-off of this championship game. Kevin Meinson controls for Adelphi, and as we go along through this game, face-offs are going to become very important. And when he beat Scotty Haw, number 20 for Loyola, in green on that face-off, he beat a very fine face-off man. Now you see the trigger man, Eddie Hughes, back quickly to number 9 behind the goal, Kenny King. Back out to Hughes on the cut. And that fast The goalie, Steve McCloskey, has gained possession for Loyola. You notice how they move without the ball, Lee, very, very well.
They move beautifully without the ball, Bob. And King and Hughes, number 9 and number 30, are the guys that Adelphi is going to be going to. You saw right there that they went right down the field and went to him right away.
Watching now as Adelphi back in a deep zone ride. Loyola brings it up with 2 midfielders. An errant pass. And picked off nicely over there by number 4, Ed Menegue, the All-American defenseman for Adelphi. You can see the intensity in this game already. There's a lot of hittings going on. Here they come back down. A fast break. We'll see how well they set up. They bring it over quickly. They fire inside. Nice side. Number 6. Pat Burke has scored the first goal of this game as Adelphi now leads 1-0. Only a minute gone in this contest.
A great play by Pat Burke, and he's one to watch for, too. He plays crease with an outstanding Adelphi team, and he just pumped it in, faked high on Mikulski, and went low. Here we see it. It comes down, a beautiful pass inside by that freshman midfielder who's looking tremendously good on the fast break. Now Burke gets it, he fakes high, goes low on Mikulski, who is an excellent goalie, and scores the first goal of the game.
Pat Burke from Mineola, New York, is once again number 3. Kevin Meinson controls the faceoff in quickly to Ed Hughes, and Hughes, the tough man, loses the ball on good hit. A lot of physical play here with only a couple of minutes gone in this game.
Bob, I think if Loyola can match up anything against Adelphi in any phase of the game, it's going to be in hitting.
Once again, Loyola sets up with a midfielder down, number 4, their top midfielder, Dave Maines, a man that Coach Paul Daugherty from Loyola told us he thought was the best player on the Loyola squad.
Dave Maines has 25 goals so far this year, and he is their best player in the midfield.
They cleared it quickly inside, trying to feed in towards the crease on a man cutting inside. That was number 9, Neil Barthelm, but he did not get the ball. And once again, they come back down. Adelphi rolls into the big defensive shoots and scores! Ed Menegue runs the length of the field and scores the second goal for Adelphi with 13:15 remaining in this quarter. Adelphi moves out to a quick 2-0 lead.
Ed Menegue showing why he's a first-team All-American. A beautiful play, and boy, is he fast. He came down the clear. Nobody picked him up. We'll see it here. Here he has the ball. Nobody's picking up. He comes inside the restraining line. He has a good shot, so he takes it. A nice bounce shot past Mikulski, and it's 2-0 just like that with only 13 minutes and 15 seconds left. A timeout by Loyola. They're down 2-0 in very short order. Great play by the defenseman, Ed Menegue, and I'm telling you, that is why he's a first-team All-American, Bob. He takes advantage of these situations.
Menegue, of course, that time did not see anybody picking him up, and as often will happen, a defenseman will come rolling down and fire the ball.
One thing these teams have is speed. They're both very, very fast, and Menegue showed that right there, coming from one end of the field all the way to the other end of the field and scoring that goal. Nobody picked him up, nobody chased him, and he was as fast as any attackman on this field.
Looking now as we see the Adelphi huddle, Coach Paul Daugherty must be pleased with this opening 2 minutes of play. We can hear them cheering on the sidelines. Coach Paul Daugherty, Loyola coach Jay Connor told us why he uses his timeouts. We have it right now.
A timeout can be a very valuable asset to a team in terms of momentum. Like most sports, lacrosse too is a game of momentum, and when the game starts swinging from one side to another, a timeout is a very handy tool to get things back under control.
Facing off for Adelphi, Art Whitmarsh, number 20, comes down quickly on a fast break, but is turned back on a nice defensive play by Jack Ramey, a good midfielder for Loyola College.
They're 2 for 2 in faceoffs, Bob, and let's see if they take advantage of Mike Fiocco, Loyola College, number 21, who's a faceoff specialist. He's now going to have to play some good defense.
They come in again, fire, low bouncer, and a good save by the Pipe that time. The Pipe, the goalie's best friend. So we'll see if McCloskey regroups as the ball goes out of bounds on the far sideline.
That shot was by Dave Leitzman. He's a first-team All-American, too, and it shows you the great talent on this Adelphi team. He is a top scorer. He could be an attackman, but he's the top scorer in the midfield for Adelphi. A good shot there. The Pipe saved it for Loyola.
Now Adelphi will bring it back in. We'll see for the first time they're even up offense. Everything's been scored on fast breaks so far for Adelphi. Eddie Hughes, the big gun for Adelphi College, along with number 9, and that's Kenny King. Kenny King, the leading scorer on the Adelphi University team.
Ed Hughes is big. He's 6'4", 210, Bob, and that's a handful for any defenseman.
Number 36 out there playing defense for Loyola. Of course, in the game would be Mo Bozell. Nice roll dodge out there, and a low shot read very nicely over top of the goal, backed up in there by number 6, Pat Burke.
We'll see how this game develops, Bob, but you know, a lot of times 2 goals early in the game can work against you because momentum can change so fast as we've seen during the season.
Looking now, Hughes bringing it in, trying very hard to get by Mo Bozell. Does not have much luck. Excuse me, that's number 25, Wade Dowsis. Gives the ball back off to Kenny King. And it's really a great situation in a game where you have two outstanding attackmen, such as Adelphi. King looking back out front, tries feet to feet. A nice shot gotten off of out front by number 20, Art Whitmarsh. Backed up over there alertly by McCloskey, though, the goalie for Loyola. And he gives it off to Dowsis. And Loyola has a clear double team clear coming up the far side of the field.
Loyola's settling down now. They're playing some good team defense. That's what they're going to have to do. Plenty of time left in the game. They can't let this 2-goal lead change their game plan.
Waiting now as both teams substitute on the fly, and Loyola will go back in on offense. Dave Mays tries to fire it in quickly, tries to get a pass across field to number 6, Mark Brennan. Ball gets by Brennan out of bounds, and sloppy passing here has hurt Loyola as they have a 6-on-5 coming down very quickly. Number 24 setting up out front, Dave Leisman, but he does not get, now he gets the ball a little late, however, and that effectively killed the fast break.
A good play, though. Adelphi is really running and gunning, and that's their style of play.
Leisman now trying to roll dodge out front. They're going to have to move the ball. They're going to run to a nice double team by Dave Maines, and he lays out Leisman. Good hitting in this game.
Again, Bob, that's something to watch for us because Loyola can match Adelphi with hitting.
Kenny King, though, alertly picks the ball back up, and they go back on offense, does Adelphi. You know, Coach Paul Doherty, one of the outstanding coaches in lacrosse with a 107-59 record in the last 10 years. And a shot taken right there by Eddie Hughes. Probably one of the top records in lacrosse.
You notice Eddie Hughes came around. He was mismatched on a midfielder. He took advantage of it right away with a power move around for his right-handed shot. The midfielder played good position. The ball going out of bounds, and Loyola picks it up.
And on the out-of-bounds play, both teams substitute. Loyola will attempt to clear the ball. McCloskey with a long clearing pass. As we look at the team records for Loyola, as you can see, go ahead, Leif.
Very successful, Bob. Loyola is 11-4, losing only to Division I teams. And here you see the last game against Salisbury State, a very impressive 12-1 overtime victory.
Looking now as Wade Dowsis tries to clear the ball, gets it across field as they use the far clearing pass to get open on the far side. Now bringing ball written by Neil Bartholomew, one of the outstanding scorers for Loyola at midfield. He brings the ball down, settles it down. We notice Neil Bartholomew is playing attack today, the first time we've seen that. Neil has ordinarily played midfield for Loyola. Back out front now, you see it's Tony Golden. The number's a little small on the backs of the Loyola jerseys. It is Tony Golden, number 8 for Loyola, playing attack as he has the ball taken away. And good defense once again by Adelphi. Would have an offsides or a late hit. We'd like to see what that call is. It'll be a personal foul, a slash.
Bob, back to the Golden situation. Loyola coach Jay Connor was going to use 4 attackmen all the way through the game. Hanley, Hegberg, Gavrelis, and Tony Golden. All of them playing exceptionally well, and he doesn't feel any hesitation to use anyone at any time.
Now Loyola will have the first extra man situation. They'll have 6 men attacking the goal and only 5 defending it for Adelphi University. Waiting now as they bring it down. They'll bring it in from the far side to walk it, from the midline. Dave Maines brings it in. Loyola set up in a 3-3 in a circle around the goal. One man will be cutting through momentarily as we see the ball come back out front. And now quickly over to Alex Gavrelis, over to Maines. Now nicely over to Jack Ramey, back behind the goal to Hanley. Hanley looks back over on the far side, looks inside. Loyola has cut through and set up when they try to feed the crease. They had a man cut down on the crease. The ball knocked down by the rough and tumble defense for Adelphi University. Picked off nicely by Gavrelis. He saves the extra man play. Hanley, the trigger man, looks for an open man. He'll come around. They feed the crease. The ball shot low on the outside. Just a pop feed inside. Hanley once again controls. He'll try to force. There's another flag and a shot taken and a good hit on the outside by one of the defensemen for Adelphi, number 34. Charlie Wilcox with the good hit. It'll be a slashing call, and Adelphi finds themselves in deeper trouble now, penalty-wise.
This is an important situation for Loyola, Bob. They should get a goal here to bring it back to 2-1. They seem to be forcing the crease a little bit. As you know, in a man-up situation, here's a good hit inside on Hanley, and there's where the slash occurred right there. Slashing is going to cause another minute penalty, and Loyola will be up. But they need a goal here to get back into a 2-1. It's a good opportunity.
6-on-4. Now 6 Loyola men attacking the goal against 4 for Adelphi. But they're playing a box. Now a little bit of pressure. They drop back out. Feed across the crease to Gavrelis. And Adelphi playing this very, very well. Back out front. There's the shot. A nice by Shelley. Steve Shelley with a great save on a hard shot there by number 9, Neil Bartholomew. Adelphi picks him up. Ed Minigue, the All-American defenseman, comes back down. He scored a goal just a few moments ago. Gives it off quickly over to another defenseman. with number 29 in there, Bill Sledge, and they finally settle it down by getting into the attack. Very impressive, the Adelphi defense today.
Very impressive, very aggressive, and a great save by Shelley, possibly the most important key to this so far in this game.
Hughes looking back out front, sees the trailing midi. That's number 1, Ron Cloper. But the pass over to him backed up nicely, alertly over there by number 18, Billy Owens for Adelphi.
Bob, one thing that becomes evident right off the bat is that Adelphi is extremely fast. Loyola's fast, but Adelphi is beating him up and down the field.
Adelphi in a rotating offense. One man cuts down to the crease, another man backs out. They rotate in a circle in front of the goal. And another man goes back down, and they repeat the operation. Hughes cuts in front, a backhand shot over the goal. Backed up nicely in there by one of the defensemen for Loyola, and they give it off quickly to the goalie, Steve McCloskey.
Well, the book on Hughes, and Hughes just took that shot, is that he'll shoot any way he can, between the legs, behind the back, over the head. He took a shot there that was right over his shoulder. Here's Adelphi's record. Of course, they're 9-2. Also, 2 losses only to Division I. Very, very good team, and both of their losses were by only 1 goal. This team came to play. They've been to the Division Championship 3 times straight.
Dave Main saves it clear and gets it up to Gary Hanley. Hanley has outstanding speed, but nevertheless cannot clear one of the midfielders, number 31, Wade Melton for Adelphi. Back over quickly to number 19, and of course that's Ben Hagberg, the attackman for Loyola, does not find it. Now feeds into the crease, and they've got to move in on the goal and get back out. Shot taken, kind of a weak shot, an easy shot for Shelley to handle. Kind of marks to clear though as the ball rolling to the sidelines.
That was Tony Gold on the last shot.
Once again, the speed for Adelphi showing its power as Charlie Wilcox runs down the midfielder, knocks the ball out of bounds, and Adelphi will go back on offense. Adelphi leading this game 2-0, 6:54 remaining in the first quarter.
Here's the play right now as they come out. The good over-the-head check as the ball goes out of bounds. Excellent play by Adelphi. They have the ball. They've got to clear it about 10 yards across the midfield stripe before they can settle down to their offense.
Pass back to Shelley, and we'll see Adelphi's set clear. They're a little cramped at the midfield line. Now they break a man back very quickly, and that's Bob Picola. Picola brings it across the midfield line nicely, and they give it off to Eddie Hughes, as they will do almost every time they bring the ball down. Quickly inside now, a man comes wide open and shoots and fires. A nice save of McCloskey. Number 27, Pat Bodolata, took the shot. We'll see what the call is. Waiting now, we see what the call is. We don't have the official. It will be an in the crease call, as the man went into the crease after shooting the ball.
Bob, Bodolata and Leitzman on the Adelphi team, the 2 midfielders that are going to get the call most of the day. Here's the in the crease. Take a look. In the crease, down low, you see the player coming in and going across. You cannot do that on the offensive half of the field. Loyola gets to clear.
Had that been a goal, of course, if the ball broke the plane of the goal before he went in the crease, the goal would have counted. Now back over quickly to Hagberg. Hagberg over to Tony Golden. Golden getting a lot of heat over there for number 34. That's Charlie Wilcox, the big defenseman. And he takes the ball away. This is going to be a problem all day long for the smallish attack of Loyola.
They're small, but they're a very, very hustling team, very fast. They just got to keep at it for a whole 4 quarters.
Maybe a moving pick coming up. We'll see what they call. It'll be a loose ball push, we believe, and possession will go over to Adelphi.
You see Loyola bringing the big sticks, Bob. They've done this as many times as they can, and they're bringing the big sticks now. Let's take a look at this push against Loyola. See the man come in, and they're right there against the Adelphi defenseman from behind, pushing with the open hand, and that causes the possession to go back to Adelphi.
See the Adelphi clear. Number 7 bringing it up is Tommy Rotans. Very, very fine defenseman for Adelphi University. Championship action coming to you on ESPN, the All Sports Network. Quick dive inside, a low shot, and a great score by number 3, Kevin Meinson, as he beats his man out in front of the goal. And Adelphi now has moved out to a 3-0 lead. 5:43 remaining in this first quarter.
This Kevin Meinson is a very good-looking player. He's a freshman, and he's really making himself known here. Look at him coming in this power move to the left. He wants a left-handed shot. Gets it off with a great defensive play as well, but the shot came off, a nice bounce shot. And McCloskey is having his hands full. 3 goals in the first quarter by 3 different players, and mostly all on a transition, loose ball kind of orientation where they're running and gunning. That's Adelphi's style, and Adelphi is doing their job.
Of course, in his defense, they're sitting on top of him when they shoot. Once again, Meissen momentarily controls, and the ball flips into the stick of Bobby Picola, and they go back to Meissen. The midfield of Picola, Meissen, and Pat Bodolato. Number 27, Bodolato with the ball. Adelphi in yellow jerseys and brown pants. Loyola in green jerseys and white pants. Bodolato runs in, comes open and fires. A nice bounce shot over top of the goal, backed up by Eddie Hughes.
Bob, as the game progresses, it's 3-0 now, Adelphi. These face-offs are going to become more and more important. We noticed that Loyola has not won a face-off yet. They've had some trouble moving guys in and out, not one guy dominating for Loyola the whole season. That could be a problem if they don't start winning some face-offs.
Adelphi set up in a stack. Hughes will bring it out. A man will pop out, open on the side. There he is, number 9. Takes a shot and scores. Number 9, King on a beautiful pop out of the stack. Adelphi has their 4th goal of this game, now leading 4-0, 5:12 remaining in the first quarter.
This is the kind of play that you almost expect in this situation, Bob, and it's a little bit disappointing that Loyola didn't pick it up. They're stacked in front of the crease. The drive comes from behind. Here he comes. He looked for a double team. All you want to do is take away the easy shot. You can see the defenseman turns back on King. King dumps it in with a nice little shot, bounce shot past McCloskey, who had no chance at that short range. All of a sudden, it's 4-0. Adelphi with 5 minutes and 12 seconds left in the first quarter.
Meinson once again rakes it back as he gets the ball away from Mike Fiocco, and this Meinson is a horse. Number 3, Kevin Meinson, 6 feet, 205 pounds from Greenlaw, New York.
Only a freshman. He's going to have to be stopped if Loyola wants to get back in the game.
Meinson goes to crank again, that time the ball out of the top of his stick and alertly picked up on the far side by Wade Dowsis. Loyola will take their time setting it up and getting it over to Dave Maines. And now over to Mo Bozell. Bozell overthrows his man, a little tentative on the pass, and picked up nicely right off the top of the grass by Tommy Rotan. Meinson controls his one hand. He'll keep it back in. Knocked down again. Good control there by number 19. That is, of course, Ben Hagberg, the attackman for Loyola. Dave wide open, wants to fire. Dave Maines fires, and another nice save by Shelley. Shelley does not control, however. Now he gets control, looks for the quick outlet pass, and finds it by Meinson, and Meinson is on his way down. He can set up a fast break, even though the men are coming down in front of him. He makes the one pass. He tries to get it over to Ed Bennigue, which would set up a fast break. Overthrows him, and it's out of bounds.
Meinson was a little bit tired. He had run up and down the length of the field 2 or 3 times. He was too tired to run the fast break, tried to get the easy throw, and it didn't work. One thing I've noticed on Loyola, Bob, is they've only had 2, maybe 2, 3 good shots on goal. All of them have not been good, high-percentage shots. They've all been right mid-range on Shelley. He's picked them up with relative ease to send the ball down the other end of the field. Loyola has to get better shots.
Putting now as Loyola once again will attempt to set up a clear. And we notice that Adelphi is staying in their deep ride at the midfield line. There's a nice clearing pass in quickly to number 5. For Loyola takes a good shot, Jack Ramey. Ramey kind of bounced the ball in front of Shelley. Shelley does not see the rebound come up, and Loyola has its first goal of the game, and that goal scored by number 10, Gary Hanley, the big star for Loyola. Loyola now trailing 4-1, 3:42 remaining in the first quarter. Great play by Gary Hanley.
As any good player, any All-American is especially, they take opportunistic advantage of any broken situation. Now watch Hanley pick up this ball in the open field. He sights the goalie, goes high because he pulls Shelley off to his right. He went high to the goalie's left. Excellent play. The first possibly the first good shot by Loyola. They can get back in this game very easily. It's only 4-1 with 3 minutes left. Great shot by All-American Hanley, who could be the key to this game for Loyola.
He's got to shake loose from the big defenseman covering Ed Bennigue. Another face-off almost picked up by Adelphi. Good pursuit inside by Jack Ramey. However, to no avail as Adelphi again controls the face-off. Face-offs don't really become that important unless you're down a few goals late in the game. We know year after year the Naval Academy teams control all the face-offs, but of course they don't win all the games. So as we say, face-offs are only important if you're behind a few goals late in the game.
As you mentioned, it's ball control, and if you can control the ball with a 3-goal lead, you're going to be in pretty good shape.
Kenny King coming back out front. King likes to isolate and go one-on-one. Picked up there by Bozell. Now he put it behind to Eddie Hughes. Hughes looks back very nicely, and a great shot, and a score inside by Mickey Boland. Hughes looked for the man cutting off the pick out front, found him open, and that quick, Adelphi has retaliated, now leading 5-1, 3:03 remaining in the first quarter.
Mickey Boland had a very great position on this field. He was off to the right on this goal. Hughes comes up, draws the defense. Let's watch Boland on the left side. There, the defense is way out of position, and Boland stuck it right in next to the goalie and the pipe. A great shot, a very low percentage shot, but he made a beautiful job, took a beautiful job of it. Assist from Hughes, 5-0, 3 minutes left in the first quarter.
Nice face-off picked up by Steve Close. He controls the first time they had a good, clean face-off for Loyola.
That's Steve's Close first face-off attempt today, I think, and he's coming back from a knee operation. Most
you
of
can
this
see he has the heavy
bandage.
bandage on his knee. That's actually a orthopedic brace he's wearing. As we see number 19, Ben Hagberg, bring the ball back out front and then put it behind to Tony Golden. Feet inside, Close. Quickly as they rotate in towards the crease. A nice roll inside, a nice roll dodge by number 6. Mark Brennan for Loyola, and Loyola now putting a little more heat on goalie Steve Shelley. It's the nice flip inside. Eddie Hughes uses the man going down back in front. Bowen overruns the pass, and that would have been a sure goal as Bowen was going full speed ahead down on top of the goal.
What a pretty feed by Hughes. Hughes came in and led Bowen beautifully, splitting two defensemen. All he had to do was pick it up and dump it in the goal, but he couldn't pick it up. Again, fast break, transition play by Adelphi. That's their style, and they're really sticking with it so far in the first quarter of this game.
Number 24 coming back out front is Dave Leisman, looking inside, wants to fire. A nice save on McCloskey. He kicks it out wide. Leisman, we noticed, wants to go one-on-one a lot.
He does, but he's against David Maines, who's their best player, and I don't think Maines is going to give him that good a shot. Right there, he played great defense.
Nice roll dodge out front that time. A shot taken high on the goal, and the young man pays that. Art Whitmarsh paid hard for that shot as he was decked in there by number 8, Tony Golden, coming down on midfield.
What Loyola needs to do now, Bob, is get some good saves on defense and to settle down the defensive half of the field. They've kind of got the jitters out on the offensive half. They seem to be cutting better and working their cutting game a lot better on the offense.
You know, Leaf, I may be missing something, but I thought that Loyola was offsides just then as Golden dropped back on the attack. Did you notice that?
I didn't notice it.
Golden made the hit and just ran back, and I didn't. And there was nobody else back here, so they may have snuck one in. Nice shot by Hughes. Underhanded shot, and Hughes will shoot from anywhere.
That shot hit the pipe, and that was a rocket. He came down low, went underneath the defenseman, and put it in.
And I'm positive now, looking back, Tony Golden went down and played some defense, made the hit, ran back on, got on sides, and nobody called an offside.
That'll happen, especially in a transition loose ball situation where there's a lot of action, and that hit gave it a lot of action. Then he kind of snuck back in.
They get over to McCloskey. McCloskey, the key man in the clear for Loyola. Nice quick pass up to a defenseman now. Over to Wade Dowsett. Dowsett's a little bit of trouble, finds an open midfielder, and they clear the ball nicely. Mark Brennan making the final catch, and they give it over to David Maines.
Mark Brennan's possibly one of the best, or he is one of the best all-around midfielders on this Loyola team. He and Maines.
Neil Barthelm's got the hardest shot from out front for Loyola, and we'll see if he tries to take it off. Instead, he gives it back over to Hagberg. And Hagberg back outside to Tony Golden. Less than a minute showing in the first quarter clock. Yeah, he come around the goal. A nice shot taken over there by Tony Golden as he beats his defenseman, number 34, Charlie Wilcox, who was walking back towards the end line, very dejected. And Loyola comes roaring back with a goal, now trailing only by 3, 5-2, 49 seconds remaining in the first quarter.
Here's a player, Tony Golden, who has been out 3 or 4 games this year with a shoulder injury. He's just getting his timing back, and this is his kind of shot. He doesn't have a power shot, but here he drives the right side. He's going to sneak one in, a nice position shot to the left side of the goalie. That's his best shot. Again, not power, but good, quick position shooting, close range.
See if Mainz can control the faceoffs again. Playing against Steve Close. Close bears in. We'll see. There might have been some movement prior. Referee Al Blau calls Adelphi for being offside. The officials today, Fred Shekels, Al Blau, and Bob Sandell.
Bob, one thing we're noticing, we mentioned the 4 attackmen being played by Loyola. Alex Gavrelis, who is a true crease man, started the year. He's not playing as much now because
nice face dodge. Fires inside. Excuse me, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I was just mentioning the good play of Golden has pushed Alex Gavrelis more into the 4th man rotation. Alex Gavrelis playing more crease, and the other 3 rotating through the crease.
Now Loyola calling a play. Tony Golden calling a... Well, wait till they set up. It looks like they're setting up a stack in front of the goal, as Adelphi did, and they'll break off the crease in different directions. Golden does not see it. There's a slap right in the face. Golden ducks back and tries to feed the crease, and that will definitely be a slash. Charlie Wilcox, the man Golden beat a few moments ago, might have been a little frustrated, and perhaps that was the cause of the slash.
But this is what Jay Connor wanted. He wanted to create a situation, and this is what you do. You drive, you take your best man behind, he comes in, he forces the goalie, or the defenseman to go one-on-one, and many times you can draw a penalty. Loyola got it here. If you don't get the penalty, the least you'll get is a good cut off the crease, and hopefully a goal.
We'll see what kind of a play Loyola sets up in on their extra man. 6-on-5, Loyola 6 green jerseys going against Adelphi's 5 gold jerseys. 35 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Adelphi leading this game 5-2. Loyola with the extra man situation. If they do not get a goal in the first 20 seconds or so, they may choose to hold this ball and have possession to start the second quarter. We'll wait and see. Loyola now has a slow cut down, kind of a dummy cut as Dave Maines cuts through. Now Gavrelis cuts off the backside, and they feed off the screen. They shoot off the screen out front. A nice shot taken inside by Jack Ramey, but they lose the ball, lose possession as an alert play by Steve Shelley gets the ball back. as he outruns the ball near the end line. Outruns the Loyola player near the end line, but the ball went out.
This is picture perfect, Bob. Shelley turned around, he wheels from the goal, goes back and outruns the attackman and gets closest to the ball at the end line so that now Adelphi gets possession. This is so important in this situation. Now if they can clear it, they're back to an even situation.
13 seconds showing on the clock, and they're going to try to race the ball up in the person of Pat Battalato, and he brings it up near the midfield line, comes across, 6 seconds, 5 seconds, he'll have to shoot it, fires into Hughes. Hughes will not have time, 1 second, and that's the end of the first quarter of the NCAA Division II championship game. Adelphi leading 5-2. Stay tuned for more exciting lacrosse action. We'll be back in a moment. NCAA Division I Lacrosse Championship game will be coming to you Sunday, May 31st at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time and 11:30 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. As you'll remember, in last year's Division I Lacrosse Championship, Johns Hopkins defeated Virginia in a sudden death overtime to win their 3rd straight title and their 4th in the 10-year history of the event. It was sweet revenge for Hopkins, who had seen their 2-year 25-game winning streak snapped early in the season by the same Virginia team. ESPN will again bring you the excitement of the Division I NCAA Lacrosse Championship. The location will be Princeton University in Princeton, New Jersey. And doing the game for you will be Bob Smith and Leif Elsmo. That's the Division I NCAA Lacrosse Championship, Sunday, May 31st. So be sure to watch that on ESPN, your total sports network. Leif, we've seen a very, very exciting first quarter here with Adelphi rolling out to a 5-2 lead. And I tell you, if this continues, this could be a rout.
Well, you have to think back. It was 4-0 before Loyola scored. Now it's 5-2. Loyola's getting back into their game. One of the scores from Adelphi was by a defenseman. You can see the inexperience that we talked about before the game of not being in a championship game coming through for Loyola. They were very nervous, very jittery at first. They're settling down a little bit. And the last 4 scores, it's 2-2. So I think we're going to have a close game right through.
What he now is Meinson tries to control against Steve Close, and he's good hit in there by little Dave Maines, but Meinson once again comes up with the ball, and he's going to roll in. They have a fast break, a 6-on-5, and a shot taken out front by who else but Eddie Hughes. They feed across the crease, no great speed, a great shot taken inside by Bob Picola, and Adelphi, ever alertly, ever vigilant, comes up with their 6th goal of this game, now leading Loyola 6-2, only 14 seconds gone in the second quarter.
Let's watch Picola, but he takes his feed from Hughes. A beautiful play. It's a loose ball situation to the right side of the goal. Let's watch it. He sees Picola over there. That was and dumps it off to him. Picola was in a good situation to put it high against McCloskey. McCloskey, again, is getting very tough shots in close, and that's tough on any goalie. The key will be, will it wear him down and make him weak on his other shots? He's got to regroup and try to settle his defense down.
Let's credit Pat Burke with that assist. Number 6, Pat Burke, alertly picking up the ball and getting it over to Picola for the goal. Controlled by Steve Close, and Close is the only one having any success at all against Meinson. Bozell now will try to clip it over to Wade Dowsis, and Loyola will set up their clear. We heard earlier that Adelphi was going to press Rye. We have not seen that so far. A little bit of pressure on the goalie McCloskey, but he's got a 2-on-1 on the far side. He needs some midi help. Don't find it, and Dowsis is cleaned out, but a nice play on the far side as a Loyola midfielder comes up and loses it. Loyola's going to have some help from their attack or their midfields if they're going to clear the ball.
Yes, you got to bring it back. You have to be in control. When you get to a situation where Dawson was just then, he was double teamed. He's either he has to bring it back to his goalie or bring it upfield to a helping attackman. He's not getting the help.
Now we have an unsportsmanlike conduct call, we believe, being called. 1 minute we heard on the far sideline, picked up by our alert Mike on the side. We'll see what they have.
Push call here. We're going to take a look at it. As we bring it up, you see Adelphi bringing it up, and the hard play by Hanley coming in. Hanley just runs right up his backside, and again, that's a pushing play from behind as Picola had the ball being pushed from behind.
Well, it's, we hear now the unsportsmanlike call is going against the same man, Gary Hanley. Gary, very spirited, to say the least. Well, and it looks like it's going to be a 1.5 minute penalty on Loyola. And we'll see Adelphi's extra man play for the first time. They should be coming out in a circle, as we see now there that Burke is cut down onto the crease. They put the ball back behind after Hughes. So far, no action. Burke rotating. Now they cut down a man off the pick. They'll set up a pick on the far side as the ball goes behind Hughes. Cut back in front. A nice feed inside. And a beautiful play as number 24, that would be Dave Leisman, cuts off the pick from the far side in the picture play. And Adelphi has their 7th goal, now leading Loyola 7-2, 13:52 remaining in the half.
This is a typical extra man play. Leisman comes across the crease for a cut, and Hughes spots him. It's backside. Now Hughes has the ball. Watch him. He looks for Leisman coming down. Leisman breaks through the crease. The defense is sort of in a zone situation because they're man down. Leisman pops it into the offside of the goalie. McCluskey is really getting riddled here with some close-in shots. 7-2 with 13 minutes and 52 seconds left in the second quarter. We've had a score of 7-2, 9 goals scored, and every single goal, of course, has been scored by a different player, Bob. Very well-balanced scoring.
Very nice day here at Adelphi. A little windy, but a beautiful day, about 65 degrees. The wind blowing about 20 miles an hour. And we have a great vantage point. If you look at Paul Daugherty, the very, very successful coach of Adelphi University. His overall record is 107 wins and 59 losses. Ball kicked out, picked up nicely inside by a midfielder for Loyola. The ball checked away as they slide, as Adelphi slides off the crease beautifully, and some tough hitting going on out there. The man picking up the ball for Loyola, number 16, Chris Gang.
Chris Gang's a soccer player, Bob, and you can see the speed there that matches Adelphi's. He brought it down, mishandled it, but he could have had a shot.
Loyola will be extra, we believe, for 1 minute as unnecessary roughness is called. We'll see if we can come out with a hit. There's Coach Jay Connor. Hit. There's Coach Jay Connor speaking to Coach Paul Daugherty. And now Adelphi has called a timeout, and we're not quite sure what Coach Jay Connor said to Paul Daugherty. Kind of unusual coaches to talk to each other back and forth during the game, but it might have been, let's take a timeout and cut down a little bit of the hitting and reduce some of the viciousness of the hits anyway.
Well, yeah, they're spirited teams, they're fast teams, they're hard hitting. Here's Paul Daugherty, as you mentioned, who got his 100th win this year in his 11th year with Adelphi. I talked to Paul Daugherty earlier about how effective a timeout is, and of course he uses his timeouts to their advantage, to a good advantage, like any good coach would. We might notice, Bob, that Adelphi had one extra man possibility or opportunity this quarter, and they capitalized on it. Loyola has had 3 opportunities and has not scored on that yet.
We watched that earlier in the year. We saw Loyola, and they had some problems with their extra man play. And I think it's...
Again, Paul Daugherty taking a timeout now, and I asked him earlier how effective a timeout is in changing the flow of a game.
Coaches use timeouts, Lee, for a number of different reasons: to change the flow of the game, to slow down the momentum of the other team, or create momentum for their own team. In my particular philosophy, I'd like to withhold my timeouts until the other team has called the first one. That way we can be responsive to any changes that they make during the timeout, whereas if we call the first one, then we're kind of in a situation where we're asked to make a move and the other team can counter it. So to our philosophy, we'd like to call the second one and respond to whatever the other team has done in their timeout.
Okay, we see the timeout philosophy of Coach Paul Daugherty of Adelphi University. And we'll see if his extra man defense can meet the pressure from Loyola College's extra man offense.
We talked about are very successful. Paul Daugherty in his 11th year. We mentioned that he got his 100th win this year. Jay Connor took over this program 7 years ago when they just about had to borrow jerseys from the basketball team. And now, of course, he's got a very competitive team in the division championship, and he's come a long way, and a lot of credit to him.
Once again, we see pressure now being placed on a very unusual situation where a man, number 23, that would be a defenseman, Jeff Milligan, goes out and puts pressure initially on an extra man situation. Bartholomew tries to get it quickly inside to number 8, Tony Golden. The shot's wide, and Adelphi, showing little or no respect at all here for Loyola's extra man play, is pressuring all over the field. This can backfire if you can find the open man out front.
Adelphi's using the long sticks midfield, Bob. You've got 6 defensemen in there for Adelphi right now.
David Maines rolls inside. He's wide open. He'll fire. Shoots over top of the goal. It's an extra man situation, Lee. Just to check for a moment as we see 6-on-5 for Loyola.
Sorry, you're right. That's why.
Looking back inside, Tony Golden brings it back out front. It's kind of a haphazard extra man play for Loyola. They don't seem to be set up to do anything. And we'll look to see if they rebalance and reload.
Well, on closer inspection, Bob, it's even up. It's 5 against 5.
Well, then I stand corrected, and the penalty must have been on Loyola then for the unsportsmanlike conduct. But ordinarily...
I apologize. We are watching the same game. Evidently, there are 2 players out. They're playing 5-on-5, and that's why there was a natural flow of the game.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Lee. When you have 2 penalties, one a minor and one a major, doesn't the team that gets the major penalty lose possession of the ball?
Lose possession of the ball if they don't have it.
This is the opposite of what we would ordinarily think in this situation. However, Charlie Wilcox goes down, and it now is 5-on-4. Loyola with 5 men attacking the goal. Adelphi only with 4 being able to defend, not counting the goalie, of course. Now we see Loyola coming down with 6-on-4, and Gary Hanley coming back in the game, and Adelphi having a man release. So now it is 6-on-5. A quick feed, a nice shot inside by Alex Gavrella. This all gets a little confusing, Sam. There were 2 simultaneous penalties, and both men had to serve at the same time.
I don't think they're the only ones confused. Looks like Loyola was a little confused, too, as well as Adelphi.
Another penalty, or it'll be a interference, I assume, or a man went in the crease. We're not sure which, but the ball will go over to Adelphi while we regroup here in the booth.
Hey, you got to stand stride.
2 goals scored by Adelphi here in the second quarter. No goals by Loyola. They're going to have to pick up some ground before halftime if they want to stay in the game for the second half.
Eddie Minihue tries to bring it up. He outruns the attackman for Loyola, and he's going to bring it across. I haven't seen a defenseman with that kind of speed, I guess, since our producer Joe Harlan played the game. Back out front with Eddie Hughes. Eddie Hughes, a very, very big, tough attackman for Adelphi. Picked up there by Dowsett. Dowsett makes a big mistake, goes over his head. Hughes fires wide of the goal.
Dowsett did make a mistake. Hughes is 6'4", 210, and when you go over his head, you're going real high. So when you come back down, consequently, all he has to do is make a small dip with a stick, and he gets a great shot off. Hughes very talented, first-team All-American, but ironically, he's not the leading scorer on the team. He's the second leading scorer to King, which gives you a pretty potent offense, Bob.
Now back behind the goal with number 9, Kenny King. They put it back over to Eddie Hughes. Hughes likes to work his man towards the front of the goal, create a double team, and dish off. But this time he does not find an opening, and he gives it back over to King.
Coach Connor, Bob, has matched up Dawson with Hughes, even though Mo Bozell usually plays the number 1 man on the opposing team.
Adelphi being very patient now, kind of an errant feed in towards the crease. A nice, I didn't see the man pick it up, but he must have caught it midair, got off the shot, and McCloskey gets his pass back out to the clear as one of the men for Adelphi dives into the crease, but no call comes up. That quick feed into Hanley. Hanley roll dodges. A nice move, and there'll be another flag. This game's kind of getting out of hand, and the officials, I'm not quite sure, are really on top of the game.
Well, it's getting a little bit sloppy, but up the other end of the field, we had something that we couldn't even call. Jeff Milliken is going to hold Gary Hanley here, and that's good for a penalty. They brought it down. Again, a little bit sloppy, but the transition play is working. Hanley wants to take it to the crease. You see Milliken come right over top of him and hold him, pull him back, and actually almost trip him. So he gets a minute penalty for holding, and Loyola's going to be up again. They haven't been able to capitalize on these extra man situations, and if they're going to want to be in this game, they've got to start doing it now.
We'll see if Loyola is more successful in extra man this time around as they put it back out to Dave Maines. Back behind Hanley. Hanley's got to create a little bit of pressure back there by coming out front. Here he comes, and he's hitting the head, and the ball knocked down, and that was the penalty is going to be called before the goal, and Gavrelis, although jumping up and down, will not get the tally with the goal. So we'll see what happens now when they go back with another extra man situation, 6-on-4.
Let's watch Tom Rotance, the best, according to the coach, defenseman on the Adelphi team. He'll come around, he'll slash Hanley right there, and this goal that comes up about 2 seconds afterwards will not count because the penalty occurred first. So now Loyola finds themselves 2 men up for the second time today.
Hanley back behind, triggering the offense again. They put it back out front. They need to shoot from the outside a little bit more to bring out the defense for Adelphi. Hanley now, he's going to be wide open, turns and fires. Nobody slid that time, being down 2 men. And Gary Hanley has his second goal, and Loyola now trails by 4, 7-3, 10:48 remaining in the first half.
Very important goal, Bob. You're 2 men up. You haven't scored on your extra man situation yet. You've got to get one here. Hanley comes in, he sees the opening, wheels around, and puts it inside Shelley in the pipe. Hanley loves that inside shot. Sneaks it inside on about the 2 or 3 inch opening. A beautiful play by Hanley. His second goal, the All-Americans responding to his challenge. 7-3 Adelphi with 10 minutes and 48 seconds left in this game, in the first half.
I might mention, since we've had a number of penalties, the 3 officials are from 3 different areas in the U.S. Al Blau, a New York-based official, Fred Shekels from the Maryland area, and Bob Sandell from Virginia, as we see Meinson once again control the face-off for Adelphi. They give it over to Eddie Hughes. Eddie Hughes comes out and helps out on the clear as often as he can. People falling down. We saw number 27 for Adelphi take a tumble out front. Quick feed inside, a nice shot. Nice attempt at a shot by number 6, Pat Burke. And a penalty called once again. It'll be from the rear, a 1-minute penalty. And we will see, we'll have to see who gets the call. It's going to go over to Loyola as they'll go back on offense. Extra man offense once again.
from the rear, but Joe Carrier really saved that. Pat Burke came across with an excellent cut for a feed from the crease. Joe Carrier made a nice check. You'll see it right here. Joe Carrier made a check earlier, gets the ball, feeds it off to close, number 14. The call is actually pushing, I think, as we...
It's a 1 minute pushing call as opposed to a 30-second pushing call. Now, pressure once again from Adelphi on the extra man as Hanley tries to waltz around. The ball knocked down inside. Hanley probably could have come another step and shot the ball, but chose to dish it off, as you see Menegue. Getting a lot of heat in there from number 5 for Loyola, Jack Ramey.
Great play by Ramey. Now Loyola has the ball again.
Hagberg looks back out front for an opening. Feeds across the crease and an errant feed. Well, it's going to be backed up nicely by Jack Ramey. Loyola looks a little unsettled in their extra man play, and we're not quite sure why it is. Ramey has a shot here if he wants to take it, but positions it off behind. Nice feed into the crease, and the ball knocked down by Shelley. Shelley alertly reading the flow of players as they come across the crease, knowing that's where the feed's going to come. You see Charlie Wilcox now right in front of our cameras being knocked down. The ball checked away. Loyola hustling a lot here in the second quarter. More so than we've seen before. Ramey walks in right behind the trigger man, back out front. Has shot taken inside. Another save by Shelley. On a good shot by number 9 for Loyola. That's Neil Barthelm.
A lot of good hustling, as you mentioned, but Loyola's not getting the good passes off to get the goal. They needed one there.
Willie Sledge throws it inside. Shot taken in there, and a man knocked down on a vicious hit. Number 19 knocked down was Ben Hagberg, and the goalie Shelley now on his way up the field trying to clear the ball. Gives it off across the field. I think it's going to be an injured player timeout. We're not sure what it's going to be. No, it's going to be a slash called by Fred Shekels, the official, and this time it'll go against Loyola.
Number 33, Rich Lip, absolutely annihilated Hagberg when he was on the crease. Loyola doing a tremendous job of getting the loose ball and bringing it up after tremendous defense, a great defense. Look at this hit. Here comes Lip in with a nice hit, perfectly legal, 2 hands on the stick, using his shoulder. He wipes out, and that's what you call clearing the crease. Any good defenseman, especially in a man-down situation, wants to clear the crease anytime a feed comes in there. It's a dangerous territory. Perfect execution by Rich Lip.
Extra man opportunity here for Adelphi. They put it back to Eddie Hughes. Back out front, number 11, Bobby Picola, who has a goal already today. And Hughes almost has the ball knocked down. A nice play by Klosky as he comes out and knocks it down, but he's not in the goal now. And if they get a shot off, it's going to be a sure score. Back out front, and McCloskey gets back in time to knock the ball away. Alert play with McCloskey and a lot of hustle.
Bob, great play on both ends of the field by these two teams. They're really using their heads.
Loyola hustling once again. Hagberg picks it up. But Adelphi runs all over the field and knocks the Loyola players down. 3-on-1.
You got to pass the ball. When you're 3-on-1, you've got to move the ball in the air.
Hughes dishes it off now over to Kenny King. King back to Hughes. Hughes sees the crease and a nice save inside of McCloskey. And a shot taken in there by number 24, Whitland.
That's Leisman, I believe.
You're right, Dave Leisman. I thought it was Art Whitman, but it's Dave Leisman.
We're seeing great play now, Bob. Both teams are coming up to the potential, and here we got a fast break by Loyola.
Mike Good bringing it down. Looks for the open man on the far side. Gives it over to Golden. Golden quickly inside to Hanley. And Hanley now has to move the ball, and he shoots and fires wide of the goal to the left-hand side.
In the space of 2 minutes, we've seen about 3 or 4 excellent defensive plays, 3 or 4 excellent saves by the defense, the goalies, that is. This game is really heating up.
Referee Al Blau loses his hat in the fray on the far side. As the ball pops straight up in the air.
This is beautiful lacrosse, though, Bob, because not only are they using their heads, but they're playing good physical ball. There's no penalty on this. These players are just getting tired, and they're getting hit real well. Here's Hanley coming in. A good hit, but it looks like he took the brunt of it. I can't make out the player's number.
Yeah, I think it's just, they're putting a compress
to his nose. Is that Kevin Meissen?
I believe it is. And he appears to have a bloody nose. But that's certainly a minor injury to tough, good athletes like these fellas.
This is an indication of what's happening with this game in the second quarter. It's really picked up momentum. You can see Loyola, with 7 minutes and 21 seconds left, really get back into their game. I had a chance to talk to Jay Connor about the strengths and weaknesses of this great Adelphi team.
So we see Coach Paul Daugherty. We'll have that comment in a moment. Paul Daugherty walks out to check the condition of his outstanding midfielder, Kevin Meissen. And wait now, and we see Coach Paul Daugherty.
Bob, in the last 5 minutes, we've seen some excellent, you viewers at home have seen some beautiful lacrosse, textbook lacrosse. The saves are perfect, the aggression is there, but more importantly, they're using their heads. And everything is well thought through. The defensemen are playing just as defensemen should. They're predicting shots, they're predicting cuts, and the goalies are really getting into their game. I mentioned before that I did talk to Jay Connor about the strengths and weaknesses of this great Adelphi team, and he told me this.
I don't really see Adelphi as having many weaknesses. Their key strengths is balance. They have two very fine attackmen who are equally dangerous. Big fellas that can really go to the goal. They have two very good defensemen that play behind the goal, and at midfield they have a heck of a lot of speed. So as far as the strengths go, they've got a lot of balance. Weaknesses, we're hoping we can turn them against one another instead of us.
I think he's right about the lack of weaknesses with Adelphi, and of course his team is equally as strong as Loyola, but this Adelphi team is really playing their game. They're running, they're shooting well, they're using their heads. Everybody seems to be playing with the right amount of intensity. And if Loyola can get back on track with a few goals, this game is going down to the bitter end.
Putting now as Shelley tries to clear the ball up to Charlie Wilcox. Wilcox victimized earlier by number 8, Tony Golden, but seems to recover his composure as they clear the ball easily. Adelphi in yellow clearing the ball. Number 4, Ed Menegue, the All-American defenseman, controlling, so they get it up to the midfielder, number 28, John Castagna. Castagna in midfield now with number 20, Art Whitmar, number 24, Dave Leisman.
You know, Bob, the emotions had hit such a fever pitch before that injury. I think both teams are playing a little bit out of their mold. Now you're going to see them both settle down and do what they want to do.
Whitmarsh Leisman looks back inside to try to feed Cutter coming across the crease, number 9, Kenny King. And they keep the ball in play. The field here in absolutely beautiful condition. The grass a little long, so the ball will not roll out of bounds very often. And we'll see a man hit from the rear there. We'll see what the call is. It's going to be a push, a 30-second penalty, and Loyola should be extra for 30 seconds. We'll see who gets the call.
You see the push coming up. It looks like Jeff Worcester on the sideline, coming in with the defense stick. There he goes.
Adelphi
right on the back.
Will be extra for 30 seconds.
Adelphi will be up. Loyola, number 32, Jeff Worcester, committing the pushing foul. Adelphi's been very potent on their extra man situation, Bob. They've scored, they've gotten good cuts and good shots off it.
Back out front to Leisman. Almost an errant pass. Very patient. They have 30 seconds to get this goal. 30 seconds to take advantage of this extra man situation. Hughes looks back out front to a cut. Does not find an opening. The man open on the near side. Hughes does not look back, however. And a nice shot taken over there by number 9 for Adelphi, and that's Kenny King, the leading scorer for the Adelphi team. King looking back out front. Now the extra man play is over as you see the man break down in the midfield line for Loyola. So Loyola has stunted the extra man play for Adelphi. King comes around, wants to shoot, turns a nice save by McCloskey on a good high shot taken by Kenny King. McCloskey read that well, and Hughes with a good hit on the far side. He's throwing his 205 pounds around very nicely. Now the ball back inside, an errant feed. Trying to rush the ball in that time was number 11 for Adelphi, Bob Piccola.
Great interception by Bob Piccola. He came out and missed the feed on the crease. Both teams playing heads up.
Loyola brings the ball down and gives it off to Tony Golden. Golden picked up by Charlie Wilcox. Loyola running out of a little bit of time here in the second quarter, having only scored 1 goal. They're still trailing 7-3, 5:03 remaining in this first half.
We're sticking with that 3 non-crease attackman offense, Bob. There's no true crease attackman in the game. They're losing a fluid, moving offense.
That kills your outside shooting, though, because you don't have much of a screen when you go to shoot from outside. Now I see Gary Hanley in on the goal, standing in front of the goal, acting as a crease attackman. And they rotate Golden off from behind across the crease. He does not get the feed as Dave Maines wants to go isolate and go one-on-one. He's a nice check inside by the midfielder for Adelphi, Pat Battalato. More hitting inside by the big defenseman for Adelphi. The ball rolling right over to the sideline and played all the way out of bounds by Ben Hagberg. Little comment given there by Bill Sledge, the defenseman, to Ben Hagberg, probably bidding him a fond day.
Battalato did have a tremendous check against Maines. Maines came in one-on-one. Of course, it's a situation where you want to get your best player with the ball and let him do his thing. And Maines took it out in front. Loyola set it up. Here he is. Let's watch Badalato. He waits for that stick to be right in the right position. He doesn't sacrifice his body position. Now look at him. He comes in, wraps it with one arm. It was almost a saving. Maines had good position. Almost beat him, but Badalato got the play.
Charlie Wilcox brings it down quickly and gives it off to Kenny King. King picked up by Mo Bozell. Bozell playing him all the way out to the sideline. King has been kind of quiet today. I don't know if he has a goal yet. I don't recall him having a goal. Do you, Lee?
King has one goal. Yes, he does. He scored the 4th goal of the game for Adelphi. But again, when you have a lot of firepower, you go to a lot of different people.
Hughes back trying to get the ball back over to King. Has it knocked down. And a nice defensive pickup on the far side by number 32, Jeff Worcester, the defenseman for Loyola. Now the long clearing pass over to Bozell.
We've got
and Loyola will set up their clear.
3 minutes and 40 seconds left, Bob, but this is an important time for Loyola. They want to get a shot. They'd love to get another goal and go into the halftime with only 3 goals down at 7-4. The last thing they want to do is make a mistake and let Adelphi increase their lead by a goal or 2.
Waiting now as Bozell looks up and finds an open midfielder on the near side. That's Chris Gang. Gang has the ball checked away, though, as once again, Adelphi's defensemen have been overwhelming Loyola. The ball knocked out of bounds, however, and another late hit. The guy burying his head right in the man's stomach. And I tell you, the intensity here in that time being shown by Mike Chasney, as these two teams have pointed this game all season long.
Well, let's watch Jeff Milliken on the Adelphi team come in from behind. He's playing good aggressive defense. 23, you see Milliken getting a loose ball. Shoved from behind, and he didn't like that too much, so he took Chris Gang down with him.
Coming in now, Scotty Hahn on a sweep out front, wants to shoot. He'll fire it. A low bouncer off a nice screen. Hahn is decked right out of his helmet. And I have not seen this kind of hitting in a lacrosse game for what amounts now to 27 minutes all season long.
They are. It's very continuous, very fluid hitting. It's not like a burst here, a burst there. Both these teams are going all out. Loyola very tentative at first, got behind 4-0, and now they're trying to get back in that lead. It's 7-3 right now. Let's take a look at this latest hit as Scotty Hahn comes in.
Look back up front there.
Well, we missed it, but there we see the aftermath. He's getting his helmet.
The results are very visual.
Let me tell you what, that was a good hit to lose that helmet. It's a leather helmet, plastic, but with a leather heritage, and it has a chin strap just like a football helmet, right?
Waiting now as they come up over with a clear over to Steve Shelley. Shelley has won up the field all the way one time. A nice long pass, a lead pass into Eddie Hughes, and Hughes is going to come down 3-on-3. Tries to feed a ground ball pass over to Kenny King. If there's one knock on Hughes, that Hughes forces the ball.
He does. He likes to do it all. Of course, when you're first team All-American, sometimes you put too much weight on yourself. But that was a good indication of how an attackman can help on a clear, Bob, as you mentioned earlier. Hughes came up, got the pass from Shelley, about a 40-yard pass, and almost got a good fast break goal on the situation.
As we hear the charge trumpet coming up here at Adelphi University in Garden City, Long Island, Kenny King driving in. Patiently now gets it back to Hughes. Hughes one-hands it. Nice play as he picked up by Wade Dowses. Dowses has tried all day to stop Hughes. Back out front on the slide. A nice shot taken to the goal. Scored by number 27, Pat Badalato, on a double team and dish off. Patton, beautiful lacrosse play. Hughes draws a double team, dishes it off to the open midfielder, and Adelphi has their 8th goal. They now lead 8-3, 2:23 remaining in the second quarter.
A great play. You'll see Hughes draw the man, and he gets a slide, I'm sure, from the defenseman that leaves Badalato open. Now here's Hughes beating his defenseman. Look at the midfielder sliding down. He throws it out to Badalato. Watch Badalato. He thinks he missed it, and he'll look at his stick. The ball's still there. Now he cranks it up, goes right for the shot. A good hard shot, right where he wanted it. Left-handed, so he didn't have a good angle, but still he put it in for the 8th score of the game.
Have a legal procedure penalty on the face-off, and we'll see who it goes over to. It's going to go over to Adelphi. Movement probably a little prematurely on the part of Loyola College.
Interesting, Bob. You know, we just mentioned that
Sorry,
Hughes...
the penalty's going over the other way. It's going to go to... the ball's going to go to Loyola.
Going back to that play, Hughes has, on the book on Hughes is that he holds the ball too long. He wants to shoot it. So Loyola's sliding a little bit early. They slid early on that play and got the worst of it.
Down now as number 5 for Loyola, and that is Jack Ramey trying to find an open man. Loyola not moving very well in front of the crease. Now Scotty Hahn cuts out in front as they cut 2 men off the crease the same side, and that can be a little confusing offensively.
Jack Ramey they love to isolate with Ramey behind. He's used to be an attackman. He's converted attackman. He plays midfielder, but he can really handle the ball well.
Picked up there by Johnny Castagna. Castagna doing a good job keeping Ramey away from the goal. Nice over-the-head check. The ball rolling loose, picked up by Shelley. And, you know, the longer you hold the ball, the greater the opportunity for you to lose it.
Absolutely.
And that proved to be true with Ramey.
The last thing you want to do with a midfielder behind is overplay him and give him a situation to drive one side. Adelphi didn't give him that opportunity.
Number 15, Mickey Bowen, picking up nicely and giving the ball back to Hughes. And Hughes once again triggers this offense. Hughes, very, very impressive here today in controlling the ball for Adelphi. Nice shot as he comes around. You can see that coming as he was coming in left-handed, underhanded. We'll see what the call is. It's going to be an offsides. If we look back and we don't know who was offsides, it must have been an attackman.
It was a great play. Hughes is tremendous. As we said, he likes to do it all. First-team All-American, and here's one of the reasons why. He has a full arsenal of shots. He comes around, takes a diving, lunging shot, shovel shot underneath that lower right-hand corner. That shot had a great chance to go in had it been about a half a foot closer to the goal.
Obviously, a defenseman was over for, an attackman was over for Loyola because Adelphi will be extra for 30 seconds. As we see number 9, Kenny King, one of the outstanding players in NCAA lacrosse. The leading scorer for Adelphi this year.
Leading scorer, and of course, Hughes playing his last game possibly, or it would be his last game for Adelphi being a senior, and he's a first-team All-American. He's going to be going all out, no question about it.
And they changed the offense slightly as Hughes starts out front, and it cuts down behind, and Adelphi now in a 1-4-1 as they move very quickly back out front and try to feed the crease on the 1-4-1. The ball knocked down, kicked inside, we believe by number 6. That would be Patty Burke. He's the one everybody's shaking his hand, so Pat Burke must have picked up the loose ball and fired it in.
Well, it could have been Burke, or it could have also been Bob Piccolo.
Adelphi now leading 9-3 with a minute left in the second quarter.
Let's see if we can pick this up. We'll take a look. It's a loose ball situation. The ball go down the crease. Nicely deflected by Joe Carrier of Loyola. But here's where you get in trouble. The ball's in the crease. That's where we talk about clearing out the crease. They've got to clear them out. It was dished in on the side by number 11, Piccolo. And Piccolo was real alert on that play and, of course, took advantage of that situation. Anytime the ball's loose in the crease, your defenseman should be clearing out offensive players so that doesn't happen.
You see Meinson once again facing off, so he has recovered from that tough hit. 52 seconds remaining in this half, and it's been all Adelphi, leading Loyola College 9-3 as they go back on offense. And now we're going to see a timeout being called by Coach Paul Doherty as he wants to get one more goal in this half. 44 seconds remaining in the first half.
9-3, and of course, maybe more than score a goal. He's got a 6-goal lead. The thing he doesn't want to do is do something foolish like give them a fast break or give them an opportunity to close that 6-goal margin down to 5. Adelphi sure has looked sharp. I'm pretty impressed with him, Bob.
Very impressed. And correct me, they not beat Syracuse University? Hobart College.
They beat Hobart. We saw Hobart play, and you may have seen it on ESPN. We did Hobart beating UMBC. And UMBC is one of the finest teams in the country. Last year won this Division II against the same Adelphi team. Absolutely annihilated them, 23-14. And Hobart is an excellent team. I talked to the Adelphi coach about the strengths and weaknesses of Loyola's team, which he may be talking about right now to his team.
I feel that Loyola is an outstanding fast break team. They have very talented people at the skill positions of attack and midfield. And I think that their strength will be in the transition game. That is, trying to set their offense up before our defense is established. The amount of time that it takes them to get their offense settled, I think, will be crucial today. The longer we can force them to take, the better position we'll be in to counter it.
There you have Coach Paul Doherty talking about his game strategy, and you must say he's been successful, leading with 44 seconds to go in the half, leading 9-3 over Loyola. At halftime, we're going to have a very interesting demonstration of the face-off. We see it 30 or 40 times a game sometimes, and we don't really see it up close. And Lee Felsman had an opportunity to do a technical piece on that, and we'll see it at halftime. As Adelphi presses in, tries to get that last goal, overthrows the ball, and that was going to be very close, but stays in bounds. We mentioned the long, deep grass here at Adelphi College.
24 seconds left.
Wilcox is going to try to run it down. Picked up nicely over there by the defenseman for Loyola, number 34, and that is Gary Rice. Nice shot taken on the rebound by Gary Hanley, and Gary Hanley has his 3rd goal today. Now they have rebounded, Loyola rebounding to within 5. They trail Adelphi 9-4. 10 seconds showing on the clock, and that certainly will give Loyola College a lot of impetus going into the locker room.
Gary Hanley again playing heads-up ball, taking an unsettled situation and making the best of it. Now let's watch 32. Here's Jeff Worcester. He takes a shot. He's taking advantage of this break right in front of the goal, about 10 yards. The goalie makes a great save, Shelley, but Hanley picks off the non-clean. It wasn't a clean save. Hanley being in the right place at the right time, picked up the deflection and dumped it right past him. That's Hanley's 3rd goal, as you mentioned, Bob, so he's playing a pretty heads-up, tough ball game.
Mikeson once again controls. 7 seconds showing on the clock. There's still time to get a shot off. As he rolls in, he'll want to fire it. Fires the ball. Rolled up on McCloskey on the right-hand side. 1 second showing on the clock. And they'll put the ball back in play for 1 second before the end of the first half.
Kevin Mikeson is something to be reckoned with. He is too much.
Playing a very, very fine game today.
The most impressive thing about him, Bob, is he's a freshman. He's dominating the faceoffs and controlling the ball.
They'll try to feed this ball into the crease and have it just deflected into the goal. Here it comes inside and knocked down by McCloskey. And that's the end of the first half of the NCAA Division II Championship of Lacrosse. Adelphi leading 9-4. Stay tuned. We'll be back in a moment with a very, very interesting halftime show.
For Adelphi, they had 12.
Representative democracy, an American tradition. An NCAA.
Now down on the field we have Lee Felsma with Coach Jay Connor of the Loyola Greyhounds.
Thank you, Bob. Jay, pretty tough first half, 9-4. It seems like you came out a little bit tight, maybe because it's your first championship game there in the 4. Do you think your team was not playing their game in the first quarter?
Well, I think they were tight. Our guys were very tight, and I think we've seen spurts of what we're capable of doing. What we've got to do is do it more consistently, and I think then we can get back in the game. This is a good team we're playing, but I believe we can come back. 5 goals is nothing to my club.
Okay, well, good luck in the second half. Any changes that we can look for?
A few little incidentals, looking inside maybe.
Okay, thank you. Good luck, Coach Jay Connor. We also have Coach Paul Daugherty of Adelphi. Adelphi ahead 9-4 at the halftime. Coach Daugherty, a pretty impressive first half. Your team looks really good. I don't think they did too many things wrong. More of the same in the second half?
Well, we hope so. We hope we can maintain the intensity defensively because Loyola is a very dangerous team in an unsettled situation. All their goals came unsettled, and we have to stay out of the penalty box and maintain that control at midfield.
Looks like you took their game plan right out of their hands. Is that was your idea?
Well, our game plan was to control the ball at midfield and put the pressure on them. I feel that we were a superior team offensively to their defense, and we've proven that so far. I just hope we can maintain that.
Good luck in the second half,
Thank
Coach
you.
Paul Daugherty. Back upstairs to Bob Smith.
We're just about ready for the opening face-off of the second half of the NCAA Division II Championship game. Here come the stats, as you'll see. Adelphi out shooting Loyola 30-21. Everything else fairly even. Clearing, shooting percentage, and we'll see if Adelphi can maintain that edge in shooting on the goal. You can't score if you don't shoot, and Adelphi certainly has taken advantage of her opportunities in front of the Loyola goal. 30 minutes of more lacrosse as we see the scoring coming up. Loyola, 3 goals for Gary Hanley, their All-American. He's done his job today. Tony Golden with 1 goal. Halftime scoring for Adelphi spread around very nicely. Bob Picola with 2 goals, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 men with 1 goal apiece. Just about ready for the face-off now. What will be the last 30 minutes of lacrosse this season for these two teams. And once again, Mikeson controls the face-off as he's done all day long for Adelphi. What a big, strong young man at 6'1", 205 he is from Baldwin, New York.
See if Adelphi made any, or Loyola made any changes in the face-off. It looks like they didn't, as Mikeson controlled it again.
Mikeson over to Eddie Hughes. Eddie Hughes, the trigger man all day long, the man who starts the offense for Adelphi University. Now over to Kenny King. King being played very, very well there by Mo Bozell. Bozell forcing him back, not allowing him a moment of rest. Quick feed inside of the crease. The man got inside, number 27. That was Pat Badalato, got inside his man, but did not get the shot off, just recovered the ball.
We can see already that Adelphi is pretty content to sit down and settle the ball down, looking for the good shots, the good controlled offense.
Eddie Hughes now controlling, looking back, puts it back behind the goal. Quickly over there to number 11. That's Bob Picola. Hughes will fire when he comes clean. Fires over top of the goal. And I think McCloskey had that one read all the way. But backed up nicely back there by Bobby Picola. Picola, 5'10", 160 from Oceanside, New York. Not too far from Garden City.
Hughes showed us another one of his arsenal there. He went right-handed to left-handed. Of course, the left-handed dip shot that he showed us earlier, a little scooper. He's the second highest scorer in Adelphi history, Bob, and he's a true All-American.
Now Kenny King coming out front looking for the double team. They don't see it. Now Picola loose on the backside, and that's a play that's worked a number of times today for Adelphi. Mini cuts backside as the attackman forces on the far side. That time the feed did not get through, but they maintain possession of Adelphi University. Mindful of the momentary lapse there.
That's also very effective when you're overplaying, as Loyola was. Loyola's looking for the strong move from Hughes. They overplay, they slide a little bit too much. The backside's always open.
McCullough now trying to get by his man. He's picked up by defenseman Wade Dowsis. Roses it off to Eddie Hughes. Hughes will force and try to throw the double team. Loyola now playing a little more patiently on defense, not sliding as they were early. We'll see what this call is coming up here. It looks like it'll be technical foul pushing. And it's going to go against number 34, the defenseman for Loyola, and that would be Gary Rice. So Adelphi will be extra for 30 seconds.
Gary Rice plays the defensive midfield for Loyola. They bring in the defense six, the lone defense six, so that you have better defense when you're playing down the end of the field.
Adelphi now in a 1-3-2 as they just play catch on the side, trying to see what Loyola is going to do defensively. Still no cut. Pat Burks now moves across. They'll set up a double pick on one side or the other, and it's set up on the far side. The ball back to Hughes. Hughes feeds inside, kind of handcuffs McCullough with the feed. The ball still rolling loose. A nice pickup by Dowsis, but he loses it. Loyola does gain possession. Back over quickly to Hughes. Hughes looks out front. Nobody open. He'll come around hard. And the low shot. We saw he scores this time. The same shot he tried at the other end of the field. This time he's successful on a low diving one-handed shot. And Adelphi has reached double figures now, leading 10-4 over Loyola College. 12:32 remaining in the third quarter.
What a beautiful shot by Hughes. We saw him try it earlier. He didn't get it. We mentioned it was only because it was about 6 inches to a foot off. This one he gets. He comes in, drives right to set up his defenseman, then he comes real hard to the left side. Here he comes. He's just going to get his body out front, extend himself, and scoop it in left. The goalie's looking high for the shot because that's where it normally comes from, and all of a sudden the scooper comes in low. Ed Hughes with a great shot. 10th goal of the game.
Steve Close momentarily controls, and Scotty Hahn picks it up for Loyola. Steve Close, the only man for Loyola with any success on the faceoff today. Tony Golden starting to press in, picked up by Charlie Wilcox as they get the ball back out front. And kind of a maybe pass there by Loyola player Steve Close. Back out to Hagberg. Hagberg picked up over there by number 7, Tommy Rotans. A double team. I think it's going to be a slash. Heard the clank of metal and plastic. It'll be a slash going against Adelphi, and Loyola will be extra for 1 minute.
Chris Gang had a good shot out front, Bob, but he drew the slash, which is good, but it looks like he may have wanted to take that shot. Here's Chris Gang now. He had a shot. He was only about 10 yards off the crease. He sees that he's double teamed, so he tucks in for protection, and he drew that slashing penalty.
Number 20 yard, Whitmarsh with the slash.
I think I might have opted for the good shot. He was only about 10 yards off the front. Loyola's got to get those good shots, take advantage of them to get back that 6-goal deficit.
David Maines puts it back out front and over the far side to number 5 for Loyola, Jack Ramey. Back behind to 3-goal producer Gary Hanley for Loyola. Now the cut comes. Gavrelis cuts across the front. Maines cuts down inside, and they feed him. Maines gets the shot off, and Maines with not a very, very quick cut coming in there, but got his stick on the ball and got a nice shot off wide of the goal to the right-hand side.
A good ball player will do that. Even though he doesn't have much room, he'll use that good stick work to get a stick on the ball and put a shot in, even though he's double-teamed.
Hanley feeds inside again as they try to force the ball down the middle, and I remember once again, a man coming up with a loose ball for Loyola. I remember Coach Jay Connor saying, trying to get the ball inside a little more this half. Good hitting in there by the defenseman, number 33 for Adelphi, and that's Rich Lip, 5'11", 185 from Bethpage, Long Island.
Tempo is really picking up. You can see the Loyola team coming in really dogging for the ball. They want to get the shots off.
Hagberger to Gavrelis, quickly over to Gary Hanley. Hanley puts it back out front, over to Maines, and Maines shoots over top of the goal. A nice shot and a good alert play by Dave Maines.
A great play by Dave Maines, and he's all over the field. This is an excellent ball player. He's the biggest offensive threat on that team. He's making cuts consistently across the crease, as all good midfielders will.
Hanley tries to feed it in quickly to Maines once again. It looks like the Hanley-Maines show at this point, as the penalty is now over. As Loyola fails to convert. Now, quick feed out front, a nice shot inside by Jack Ramey. He misses the goal, or it might have been kicked out by Shelley. Adelphi not yielding a single bit.
Adelphi playing great defense. Loyola's had 3 or 4 great scoring opportunities, but Adelphi, in a very business-like manner, is just taking care of business. They're turning it away.
Another good hit there on the far side by Alex Gavrelis for Loyola. And another hit on the far side is number 9 for Loyola. Neil Barthelm is knocked down, and we'll see who gets possession. Possession should go over to Adelphi at this point.
We're seeing here's Gavrelis. This isn't Gavrelis, but we're seeing a hit by him. That's Barthelm. out of bounds, which gives the ball. He goes out of bounds with a good hit, and actually the ball goes back to Adelphi.
Steve Shelley looks up for the quick outlet pass, doesn't find it now, and they'll set up a regular clear using one midfielder on the far side, and that's number 24, Dave Leisman for Adelphi. Now Loyola dropping into a press ride, putting pressure on Hughes, but Hughes big enough, finds an open man coming down the middle as they have a fast break set up. They feed into the crease nicely backside, beautiful fast break, and score as Kenny King took all day long, setting that up on the assist on the far side from number 6, Pat Burke. The whole play set up by number 20, Art Whitmarsh on the fast break. A picture-perfect fast break.
It is a picture-perfect fast break. Eddie Hughes started it. You talk about an excellent attack. There's Hughes going all the way across field. The middy's charging in. He's looking for the open man. The point man slides from the defense. It goes over to Pat Burke. Pat Burke has a shot, but he elects to go back across the crease to King. King comes in with a nifty little fake. Watch this. Fakes high, goes low, just dipsy-doodles it in. And there's a very tough 11th goal, a great 11th goal for Adelphi. But if you're Loyola coach Jay Connor, you're saying timeout, and that's exactly what he did. He called a timeout to regroup his forces.
Game starting to get out of reach for Loyola now. Adelphi leading 11-4, and 10 minutes and 6 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
Well, you can see right away that Adelphi is coming out, Bob. They're being very patient. They're playing tough. They're playing aggressive, but they don't have to do anything rash. They can control the ball as much as they have the opportunity.
As we watch Eddie Hughes getting some treatment, you know, ESPN on Thursday, May 28th through Sunday, May 31st, will be bringing you the 17 Tennis Tournament of Champions. Women's junior tennis competition will be in 3 age divisions. The 14 and under, their semifinals will run May 28th at 5:30 p.m. That's Eastern Daylight Time. The finals May 30th at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. 16 and under, the semifinals May 29th, same time, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And their finals will be at May 30th at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And the 18 and under, their semis will be May 30th at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. The finals May 31st at 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Now, last year's 14 and under champ was Andrea Yeager, who has since made her mark in the professional ranks. Other past competitors in the 17 tennis tournament have been such outstanding players as Tracy Austin. That's 17 tennis starting on May 28th on ESPN, your total sports network.
Well, a timeout called by Loyola coach Jay Connor. He's trying to get something going. They come out the first half down 9-4, and much to his chagrin, Adelphi pumped in the first 2 goals on some beautiful lacrosse. Now what he's got to do is get his troops to come back and control the ball more on offense and to get those good shots. I think they've had 3 or 4 good opportunities to take good shots, but they seem to be waiting a little bit too long.
Billy Owens facing off for the first time for Adelphi University, and Steve Close facing off for Loyola. Close rakes it back out, with the ball picked up on a good move inside by number 10, Steve Olcott. He puts it in quickly across the crease. Now picked up by Kenny King. King looking back out front. Very, very smooth, quick ball handling by Adelphi University. Good hit out there by number 36, Mo Bozell. The defense is sliding for Loyola College, but control gain once again by Wade Melton for Adelphi.
You're seeing some great defense by Loyola, Bob, but we're seeing, as we see number 31 bring it out in the midfield, some great stick work and speed by Adelphi. They just have too much speed and stick work for Loyola, it looks like, at this point.
Number 9, Kenny King wants to fire, turns and fires a nice save inside by McCloskey as he read that shot all the way.
Kenny King had a left-handed shot, and he turned back for his right-handed shot and just showed you where his natural hand was.
Another good hit taking on the far side as one of the midfielders for Loyola drives in and knocks a couple of men down for Adelphi. Number 10 with the ball, Steve Olcott in the game for the first time today on attack as Coach Paul Daugherty spells some of his starters. Owens tries to feed down the pipe to number 18, Billy Owens. To number 31, Wade Melton.
Well, you mentioned that Paul Daugherty.
Loyola gains possession.
Bob, you mentioned that Paul Daugherty is going to be able to use some of his extra players. That is going to tell a tale in the fourth quarter. Loyola uses 2 midfields only. Adelphi can afford to go with 3, but now that they can go even more to their bench, the fourth quarter, the intensity is going to have to go more in Adelphi's favor.
Well, if you're a believer in omens, Loyola has appeared on ESPN television 3 times. It's never lost. This will be their 4th appearance, so we'll see. They've got a long way to come back now, trailing 11-4, 8 minutes and 24 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Good sweep inside by number 15, Mickey Bowen, and he has the shot go out of bounds back on the backside. Possession will go over to Loyola as very alertly Steve McCloskey runs the ball out of bounds.
Great check by Steve Dawson, too, to make that shot go about 10 yards to the left of the goal. And you talk about omens and Loyola having the misfortune of losing 3 times on ESPN. I also believe in statistics, or they've won 3 times on ESPN. I believe in statistics, and it looks like they're due for a loss, possibly.
8:15 remaining in the third quarter. Adelphi 11, Loyola 4. Nice clearing pass up to Wade Dowsas. Dowsas still not out of trouble as he tries to throw it all the way across to Bozell. Bozell handles it nicely with his chest. The only way you can block the bouncing lacrosse ball. Back over to Dowsas as they redirect, as they call it. Now you see a press ride coming from Adelphi University. But there's the open man on the far side, and that's Jack Ramey.
Great job of clearing by Loyola against the long sticks riding defense of Adelphi.
It takes patience to clear the ball against pressure like that, and Loyola had it. Ramey walks in and fires and scores a goal unassisted. And Loyola comes back with their 5th goal, still trailing by 6, however. As Adelphi leads 11-5, 7:40 remaining in the third quarter. Here at Sun Drinks, Adelphi University.
What took them 7 minutes and 20 seconds into the second half to get their first score, but it was a pretty one. Here we see Ramey, an ex-attackman playing midfield. He comes in, his defenseman stumbles. He sees the opportunity. He wants to capitalize on it. He comes up, look at the field for a slide coming. He dips it off. Nice bounce shot. The goalie, Shelley, goes to his knees, and it comes right underneath the pipe for the first score for Loyola in the second half. 11-5 now, but time's running out. 7:40 left in this third quarter.
Pretty good contingent of Baltimore fans, Loyola fans, up here today for this game against Adelphi. Once again, Meissen controls the face-off.
This is a great moment for Loyola College, Bob. They've played so many years with a small program. They're building the program, and they have an excellent team.
Sweep back out front. A nice roll dodge and a shot knocked down. That shot taken in there by Pat Bottolato. And picked up now and lost momentarily as Loyola tries to control it. Number 9, Neil Barthelm.
Good opportunity there to look at the difference in team speed. Barthelm had an easy fast break opportunity. He was a step ahead of his ball player, but he didn't have the speed. He immediately looked behind him for help. And when you have to look behind you for help, you don't have the speed that the other
referee Fred Shekels not waving to the crowd at the TV camera there. He was signaling for one of the ball boys to get the ball back in play just in front of our camera. Once again, Kevin Meissen brings the ball in for Adelphi. And they'll probably put the ball behind. It's the starting attack now back in. Eddie Hughes back in for Adelphi University after getting a free flow. The shot taken by Meissen. Backed up, and looks like Meissen was speared in the head.
No, Meissen just showed that he is a little bit religious, but he was mad that he missed that shot. He thought he was wide open and went down to his knees in disgust.
Eddie Hughes pulling back out front. You can hear the 2-3-1-2. That's the goalie calling, and he didn't call quickly enough. It's a nice feed in there from Ed Hughes to Pat Burke, and Adelphi has their 12th goal, leading 12-5, 6:47.
A lot of time left, Bob. It looks like Adelphi is on the run. Last year, they were on the opposite side of a possible route like this. We'll see Hughes come again. Hughes is the leading scorer, leading assist man on the team. He feeds Burke out in front. Burke with a nice bounce shot past McCloskey. Hughes, the excellent player that he is, first-team All-American, was the leading scorer last year. This year is an assist man because everybody's gunning for him.
The numbers you hear the goalie calling out when he's playing defense, close defense, men coming around the goal, are zones of 1 through 6 around the goal. And you hear him calling out 1, 2, 3. His defensemen know where they are now. Loyola rolling in on top of the attack. A goal, a nice score there by number 16, Chris Gang, as he rolled in unmolested against goalie Steve Shelley. And Loyola comes rolling right back. Down 12-6 now, 6:31 remaining in the third quarter.
Here's a guy that's a hard-nosed ball player. Chris Gang is a freshman. He's a soccer player. A lot of speed. You'll see him come in. He wants the right hand. He takes away all opportunity for a good percentage shot because of the angle, but he sticks with it. Goes the left-hand pipe. Excellent shot by Chris Gang, a freshman, a good heads-up freshman play, and that is the 6th goal for Loyola, 12-6, and who knows, a couple more goals here, we're going to have a good fourth quarter. Talking about hard-nosed ball players, Bob, Chris Gang, who just scored that goal, lost his teeth earlier this year in a game against Georgetown and came back in and played the rest of the game. He lost his 2 front teeth.
I'm sure that made made a few other guys on the team think about any physical problems they might have and their ability to play with them. Eddie Hughes now calling for a man to come back out off the crease, waiting for Mitty to come get the ball. Gives it up to Kenny King. A little bit of a decoy there by Hughes. You can hear the goalie calling out 1, 6, 2. King is open, turns and fires. A nice deflection in there. The defenseman Bozell stuck a single last time. Hughes goes around, he scores. As Hughes backed up that shot beautifully and outraced the defenseman. And Eddie Hughes has, I believe, his 3rd goal today. And now Adelphi moves out to a 13-6 lead. 5:55 remaining in the third quarter.
Great play by Hughes, and he's showing his All-American caliber right in everything he does. He can feed, he goes left, he goes right. We've seen him score left-handed. Now we're going to see him score right-handed. He comes along, little low scoop shot. Left Dawson's behind when he came with the right-handed power move. And again, McCloskey has to assume that he's going to shoot high. And Hughes, knowing that, went low for the 13th goal for Adelphi.
You see a penalty being called on the face-off. I don't believe there's a book on McCloskey that he's weak, low, and outside.
Well, the book is low and away, which is typical on any goalie that's a good, strong goalie. You want to go low and away. But what happens is, and we saw against Salisbury State last week, through the course of a year, if everybody plays a goalie low and away, he gets pretty good low and away. So then, I think right now the book on McCloskey might be to go high on him, but he seems to be playing everything real high. Here's some good physical action. You talk about lacrosse being a physical sport. It's beautiful when the ball's moving in the air, but you can get just as much physical contact in lacrosse as you do in a good football game.
Now Eddie Hughes with the ball back behind again, giving it over to Kenny King. Bozell pokes right in the chops, but King doesn't care about that. Rolls in and fires the ball.
King is really taken to the hoop. He's had 2 great shots, about 5 yards off the right-hand side of the goal. Hasn't gotten either of them in because of great defensive play, but he's doing some moving out there.
Once again, Adelphi gains possession by virtue of a lot of hustle at the end line, and Eddie Hughes will put the ball in play. We heard the crowd chanting, Eddie, Eddie. This is like they do for Eddie Murray and the Baltimore Orioles after Eddie Hughes scored that last goal. Owens now wants to shoot, comes back out front, looks inside. With a heavily taped thigh, probably a hamstring pull, but Eddie Hughes does not want to sit out the championship game. You can hear them holler, Jay Connor on the far side hollering, cut off Ed Hughes, but Wade Dowsett unable to do that with Hughes with a little better speed.
Well, what's going to happen if you cut off Ed Hughes when you have the leading scorer on the team is King, and he's back there doing his thing.
King now looking back out front on a hard drive pass. Dowsett, inside roll, and cut down his angles. He stepped back 1 step too far.
Interesting play. He had his man beat by a step bob going to the strong side. He elected to go with an inside roll and took away all his angle.
Once again, recovered by King. Excuse me, that's Pat Burke. Out to Hughes. Hughes back out front to Owens. Owens will fire if he gets a chance. Beautiful roll dodge and a nice shot knocked down in front of the goal. Now McCloskey decides to take things in his own hands. Looks for the quick outlet pass and finds it up here in the 34 for Loyola, Gary Rice.
Beautiful play to Owens up top, and Loyola played a great heads-up physical defense. You can look back at the attack on the Adelphi. They are wasted. These players have been running for the last 6 minutes straight almost. They look like they all need a blow on the sideline.
Glad to see their defensemen play a little bit of ball as they've been holding the ball for about the last 3 minutes.
Well, you can tell Loyola with some great defense there. They slid out on top of Owens, who made a nice, nifty face dodge. Here's Loyola going on the attack.
Quick feet inside. Nice shot over there by
Dave Main had a great shot on that one. He's, again, the offensive weapon that you look for. And Adelphi, at this point, with the timeout, or the ball going out of bounds, is bringing in the long sticks defensive midfield. They're bringing in, now they have 6 defensemen on the field. They're trying to take away the offensive punch of the Loyola #1 midfield.
Hard drive back out front. Tony Golden trying to get inside as the ball checked away. Golden now looks quickly inside. A nice shot and a beautiful save by Shelley on a point-blank shot by number 9, Neil Barthel.
Tremendous save by Shelley, and that's the kind of save that any division-winning team is going to make time and time again. And a great
Another good hit in midfield. And Charlie Wilcox limping after that. Nice feet across the goal. A beautiful play from number 9, Kenny King, to number 6, Pat Burke. Adelphi has their 14th goal, leading 14-6 now. 3:21 remaining in the 3rd quarter.
Another fast break situation, and here King comes down and sees Burke waiting on the crease. He doesn't take the left-handed shot. Look at the defense almost making the play. Burke standing all by himself on the off-hand side of McCloskey. That's the play you want to make. You want to draw the defense. It's a fast break situation. The only way you can be stopped when you're racing toward the goalie is to have somebody slide over and play you. Once somebody slides, the man that was left behind is wide open. King elected to dish it off to Burke. Burke got the goal, King the assist. That's the 14th one for Adelphi with 3 minutes left in the 3rd quarter.
Face-off control by number 28, Johnny Castagna for Adelphi. They'll give it over to Eddie Hughes. I wonder how Adelphi would play offense without Eddie Hughes. He gets the ball every time they bring it down.
He's their big gun, but they have so many big guns. They're really wearing down Loyola with their depth.
Here comes Leisman driving in. He'll shoot off the screens. He comes loose and fires, and once again, very little slide from Loyola, as it looks like the Loyola Middies are being fired slightly. Pat Burke gets the ball back, puts it back out front. Now King wants to shoot. Adelphi, awesome on offense. They have controlled the ball the entire day, with exception for a few brief stints as Hughes fires a shot picked off by McCloskey. McCloskey must be almost shell-shocked. Let's see what that is. Interference with the goalie, and I believe we'll see what the call is coming up. You see the ball going, going Wade Dowsett will put it in play. It'll be a crease violation. You see it coming up right here, right after the shot. There's the nice save by McCloskey. And he steps back and
notice how the goalie looks.
Yeah, there you are.
Right away.
See number 30, Eddie Hughes, jumping up and diving into the crease.
In the crease. Hughes trying to make a play on the goalie. But what you can do is try to deflect that pass in mid-flight. You know, this attack for Adelphi, Bob, they're no small potatoes. These guys, Hughes is 6'4", 200, and Eddie King is 6'2", 190 pounds.
Now, Adelphi has put added pressure on by putting an attack to ride the clearing defense for Loyola, and it's worked as Loyola loses the ball out of bounds.
Here comes the...
now the offensive attack will come back in, right?
Actually, they're putting another midfield, and let's see if they put... Actually, they're keeping that attack in there. They're going to let him run for a while.
Number 15 on attack for Adelphi, Mickey Bowen, who was originally in attack but moved to midfield, now goes back on attack. Number 13 is Bob Jerem, and number 8 is Doug Rapp.
These are good ball players, too. Bowen had the 5th goal of today's game, so all these players, again, show the depth of Adelphi.
Bowen calling for the ball, and he gets it now, and he'll trigger the offense from the far side of the field. Quick feed inside, nice speed in there, and a nice shot. Taken, kicked out wide with a good save by McCloskey. The shot taken in there by Bob Picola. Picola fires again, he reloads, and now a man loses his stick as the ball kicked out to the far side of the field. Picola was camped in that same spot twice, Leaf, and a man dives in there and knocks down 2 or 3 people. We'll see what the call is. It's going to be a from the rear call, a pushing from the rear called. It'll be a 1-minute penalty, and Loyola should be extra for a 1 minute.
Minute penalty because of the possession. Here the ball's up in the air. That's a little bit questionable too, but you see the push was evident as McCloskey got rid of the ball.
Pat Bottolato, the offender for Adelphi.
This really has to take its toll when you've got a margin of 8 goals and you can take out your whole high-scoring attack and put another unit in there to wear down Loyola's defense. In the 4th quarter, these guys are really going to be cooked.
Back out now, Jack Ramey. A lot of pressure being put on the extra man offense by by Adelphi.
This is an important situation for Loyola, Bob. They've got to get a goal here. 8 goals down with less than a minute to go, or a minute and 20 to go in the 3rd quarter.
Gavrelis tries to cut through there, gets the feed, but he runs right into 2 long sticks of Adelphi. The ball's going to roll out of bounds, we believe. Another nice hit on the side by Jack Ramey. Ball picked up very deftly on the far sideline by Bobby Jerem. He'll control. He has to get the ball in the box in order to kill the penalty. As we see Dave Maines trying to keep him out of the box. Jerem still under a lot of pressure, running himself into trouble on the sidelines. Gives it back to one of the defensemen, number 7, Tommy Rotans. He gets it up quickly to number 27, Pat Bottolato. He's in the box and the penalty's over.
Yeah, this Adelphi team, again, is showing exceptional speed.
48 seconds showing on the scoreboard clock here as we hear a whistle. We're not quite sure. There probably was a bench whistle call. They weren't sure if the release was legal. Adelphi leading here 14-6 as we see.
Bob, you know, we talked about the conditions today. The beautiful game conditions for a lacrosse game. No humidity, nice, cool, crisp day. The field is in excellent shape. Loyola Greyhounds play on an AstroTurf field. Here the referees are trying to get it together. As they're talking, let's mention that Loyola went out and spent $1,000 last week for grass cleats because they play on an AstroTurf field, and they practiced actually on a turf field all week.
Illegal substitution, number 27.
Here we see Paul Doherty.
Unsportsmanlike conduct penalty we hear being called by
number
referee
27 came on the field, then 27 brought in the box.
Well, 27 brought it in the box.
That's right. The original penalty was on 27. Right, that's right. Okay, here's the start. Here's a minute.
Yeah.
Right. Unsportsmanlike conduct. 1 minute on 27. So we have to finish serving the time on the original 30.
All right, you can hear the referees talk about it. Pat Bottolato, a good-looking freshman, 5'9", 160 pounds for the Adelphi team, was serving a penalty. He evidently came in too early. So now not only does he have to finish serving that time, but he's got to serve an unsportsmanlike penalty conduct, or unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. Regardless, he's going to be in that box for a little while.
You're going to be penalized 30 seconds yourself for that
for
one.
lack of tongue, right.
There's a gentleman came all the way up from Texas, I believe, to watch this one. 48 seconds showing on the 3rd quarter clock. Adelphi leading 14-6, but Loyola will have the extra man opportunity.
How much time is the penalty?
48 seconds left again in the 3rd quarter.
Now we'll see Dave Maines bring it in. And we're not sure how much time was remaining on the first penalty, so Loyola could be extra considerably more than a minute. And they may hold the ball if they don't have good opportunity to score here and have possession at the beginning of the fourth quarter.
Well, they should go to the hoop. They've got 40 seconds to get a good shot off, and they need some goals.
Back out front. A nice shot, nice feed inside there. The shot taken by Alex Gavrelis on a very nice feed across by Neil Barthelm. And that play worked to perfection for Loyola as they now trail 14-7, 27 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
Great shot by Gavrelis, and Barthelm dishes it off to him. I thought it was kind of a poor feed, but it worked out to their advantage. Now watch Gavrelis get it up top, or Barthelm rather. Now Barthelm dishes off. Beautiful pickup, and he just like slap-checked it in. That was the amazing thing. Gavrelis just slap-checked it in, knowing that the goalie was coming off and still in motion. A beautiful play by Gavrelis for the 7th goal of Loyola. 27 seconds left, and with the unsportsmanlike penalty.
That's a release penalty, Lee.
That was a release penalty, and now...
It was not a maligning. Had it been a maligning of an official,
he may have had to serve the whole thing.
Time penalty.
We're all leaving on the field.
Meinson once again controls the face-off, running back towards his own goal, looking for some help on the clear. A lot of trouble as Loyola wants this ball back with 17 seconds showing in the third quarter. They need desperately to score another goal here before the end of this period, but it does not look like they'll get an opportunity. Yeah, the 9 seconds showing on the clock.
Freshman Meissen with the face-off was voted their athlete of the year, and he's really showing it today. An excellent athlete, tremendous face-off man.
There's the whistle, and that's the end of the third quarter of the NCAA Division II championship game. Adelphi leading Loyola 14-7. Stay tuned. We'll be back in a moment with the final period of today's game. The NCAA Division III championship in golf will be coming your way on ESPN. That's Sunday, May 31st at noon Eastern Time and 9 a.m. Pacific Time. The location will be Greensboro, North Carolina. And doing the color for ESPN will be Jim Thacker. Stanislaus State won its 5th consecutive Division III golf crown in 1980, and in competition seen on ESPN. Greensboro this year will be the host school, and they finished 5th last year. Last year's individual champion Mike Bender of Stanislaus State finished the fourth round tournament subpar and a Division III first. That's NCAA Division III golf, and that's Sunday, May 31st at noon Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Time on ESPN, your total sports network. As we see the crowd cheering, whooping it up as they want Adelphi to pour it on here in the fourth quarter. They lead 14-7. 1 quarter of lacrosse left in the Division II championship game.
Bob, it's going to be pretty tough for Loyola to come back and get in this game. They've got to do it right off the bat. In the first 5 minutes of this quarter, you're going to be able to tell the tale. They've got to get some goals on the board. But, you know, Loyola has had a great season, and again, a great 7 years building this program. And they're a proud team, and you're going to see a lot of hustle, a lot of hit from this Loyola Greyhound team in the fourth quarter.
You know, so they say potential is one of the great burdens for any athletic team or individual. And these two teams were pretty much considered to be the teams that would be in this championship game from the beginning of the season. That's a lot of pressure to have on you all season long, but they both have managed to shrug it off and have great seasons and make this championship final.
That's right. Everybody they play has been gunning for him.
Now here comes Kenny King, rolls out front, double team, triple team, and finally has to cough it up.
Look at that double teaming we were just talking about. Loyola, a proud team, a good team. They're double teaming. They want the ball. They want to get a few more goals. They're not going home with a loss yet.
Nice check there by number 23 for Loyola, and that would be the defenseman Joe Carrier. But to no avail as superior speed wins out. And
time again, this game,
Pat Badalato picks it up for Adelphi.
Absolutely. Adelphi is showing superior speed throughout the whole roster. This team is very fast, very deep in talent.
Eddie Hughes once again being played by Wade Dowsis. A battle I'd have to say that Hughes has won today.
He sure has, but he's first-team All-American. He's a quality player playing his last game, and 6'4", 200 pounds. I guess he pretty much does what he wants.
Bozell, a nice over-the-head check, takes the ball away from Kenny King. But, excuse me, that was Wade Dowsis who slid off and picked up Kenny King. Let's see what the call is. It'll be a push, and possession will be given over to Adelphi.
Kenny King, a great player, too. He led Adelphi Panthers with over 60 points. He led them in scoring this past season. Here's the push right here. And it may have been a little of an Academy Award involved, but nevertheless, the push was called. And it was from behind as Adelphi retains possession. Eddie Hughes bringing it in from out of bounds.
Hughes taking his time now. Adelphi feels they have this game confidently under wraps. Hughes comes back out front. And another low bouncer as he falls down under the stick of Wade Dowsis. The ball run out nicely back there by attackman Steve Olcott.
You know what's surprising to me, Bob, is they continue to go over Hughes' head. Now, when you go over Hughes' head, you're really putting yourself in the...
You better be tall.
You better be tall, number one. It's about a half-a-day trip over top of his head. But then you better make a good move to get back because he doesn't take that very well. And I don't think anybody's gotten the ball yet, and he's gotten good shots off of every opportunity.
Of course, the weakness of the over-the-head check is once you do it, if you don't get the ball, you've taken yourself out of position to play good defense after that. Number 9, Kenny King driving in, pushes off with his elbow and fires a bouncer wide of the goal to the right-hand side. And he's knocked down smartly there by Gary Rice.
He had a good chance there at the defensive midfield again in for Loyola, but the good double team came in there and took away the good shot from King.
You notice now they seem to be slowing the ball down slightly. Hughes taking all the time in the world with time clicking off here. Adelphi leading by 7 goals.
Absolutely. You know, Loyola College is still a very high potent scoring team. I mean, they're very potent.
There it is again. And the ball hits off the backside of the goal. We thought it was inside. We saw the
goalie stick to the net. Right.
Nice pick up there by the defenseman for Adelphi. Number 4, Ed Menegue, the All-American. Recovered though, and Loyola goes back on offense for the first time in this quarter. Fast break. Down a midfielder quickly over to Gary Hanley. Hanley looks inside, feeds, and the feed knocked down. Hanley rebounds. And he's trying again to get a hold of this ball and shoot it into goal. Good hustle. It's going to be a loose ball push. Possession will go over, we believe, to Loyola.
Ed Menegue on this push in here. You see Hanley with some great loose ball situation play. There's the push right over top of him. That, again, is the play you have to make. Now, Ed, being an All-American, came flying in there. Anytime a guy has the ball in the crease, you want to clear him out and get him out of there. If it's a penalty, that's at least not as bad as a goal.
Scotty Hahn driving in, trying to find an opening, trying to get a screen set for him in front. But a lot of pressure being put on him there by number 23, and that's Jeff Milliken.
Back right.
Hegberg trying to get the ball off. He is double teamed. You can hear the hitting of those sticks. We'll see what's going to happen. Interference being called there on number 34, Charlie Wilcox of Adelphi.
Interference
Referee
call.
Al Blau making that call.
Interference call was on the crease, Bob, and what happens there is you cannot impede the cutting or the progress of any player that is outside of 5 yards from the ball.
Back after Jack Ramey. Ramey big picked up there by the big defensive stick of number 29, Billy Sledge. He's really working pokes once, pokes twice, and that's painful if he catches that in the chest. Ramey just being manhandled there by Sledge, but a lot of hustle back there from Benny Hagberg. Tries to feed back to a cutting Gary Hanley. The ball does not go out of bounds. It's laying on the end line in the deep grass here at Adelphi. Hanley picks it up nicely.
There you see the slowness of the ball rolling, but both teams have to really leg it out to get the out-of-bounds plays. The ball's not rolling.
Nice feed inside to score, and a good cut down the middle by number 16 for Loyola, Chris Kang. His second goal of the day as Gary Hanley alertly feeds him, and Gary Hanley certainly has done his share for Loyola. Loyola keeps back to within 6 now, trailing 14-8. We'll see it coming up again.
Here's here's Hanley coming in. He's driving. He sees he beat his man, but now he's looking through the crease because he knows a slide's coming. He sees the defense slide over. Chris Gang cuts right down from the midfield stripe, which is what he should do. And Gang put a beautiful shot in before he fell into the crease, which would be a penalty, except the goal came first.
11:37 remaining in this game, and Loyola desperately battling back, trailing 14-8.
You know, Bob, you talked about Adelphi slowing the tempo down and they're doing that for a reason. They know that Loyola wants a transition game, just like that last goal indicated. They want to get some loose ball situations and make the ball move fast for transition and easy scoring. They are a highly potent offensive team.
A lot of pressure being put on there. Ball picked off by Eddie Hughes. That time, number 4 for Loyola drove in. Dave Main thought he had the face-off clean, but did not come with the ball. He knew where the ball was coming out, but he could not pick it up. Meissen driving in, wants to shoot. Going to run into the double team, is knocked down. Still gets to the 3 guys, but then the ball finally checked away. Being contested viciously in front of the Loyola goal. You can hear the hitting out there. And a nice pickup over there by Loyola midfielder number 21.
Fiocco.
And that's Spike Fiocco.
Fiocco's a face-off specialist, but he has an injury too. You can see they're putting everybody in that has a chance to help the team.
Mark Brennan gives the ball off, gives it over to Gary Hanley. Hanley is wide open, comes one, he'll want to shoot, and he gets inside, turns and fires, and scores a nice goal for Loyola, and Loyola's not dead yet. Adelphi now leading 14-9. Loyola scored the last 2 goals. They now trail 14-9, 10:43 remaining in this game. And Coach Paul Doherty's seen enough. He calls a timeout.
You should see the Loyola bench. They're going crazy. Here's Hanley, the team leader, an All-American. He's driving in for left-handed shot. He wants it. He knows the team has to get it. Here he beats the All-American Ed Menegue in defense. Comes in, slips it in inside the pipe and the crease, and it was an unbelievable goal to put Loyola within 14-9. Only 5 goals down. In lacrosse, you can score 5 goals in the span of 1 minute or 2 minutes. This is a ball game, Bob. This is exactly what Adelphi was afraid of. Let the Greyhounds run, and they're going to see some goals and some goal production.
Gary Hanley with his 4th goal of the day. See if we can hear what the coaches are saying. You couldn't hear what Jay Connor was saying at that moment. Well, I'm sure Jay is saying we're not out of it, guys.
Oh, they're charged up. You can see the Loyola team. They are all charged up. This thing, they're on the rise. They've scored 3 goals straight without being answered by Adelphi. There's no question that their play on the field has matched Adelphi from the very first whistle. Both these teams are fast, they're quick, they're hustling. Adelphi has a little more depth, they've got more size. And I talked to Jay Connor earlier about needing a goal. Who do you go to now in the closing minutes if you need a goal and you have to score?
That's going to depend on the game itself. Of course, we'll look to Jack Ramey, Gary Hanley, and several others, but it's going to largely depend on who's doing the job for us at the time in the game.
There's the face-off, and once again, it's going to be Mr. Meinson for Adelphi trying to pick it up, and he knocks down a man. I think we'll have a push coming up here. Usually in that situation when the ball is rolling loose, a couple of people fall down.
I think what happened was Gary Hanley, who's played an excellent game today and is really carrying Loyola into this 4th quarter with a 14-9, a 5-goal deficit. He left the line, restraining line, too early. Possession, there was no possession. He jumped off sides, and the ball goes to Adelphi.
Waiting now for the goalie, Steve Shelley, to get his clear set up.
You're going to see Adelphi slow it down. There's no question about that. They've got 10 minutes left, a 5-goal cushion, but they've seen that 8-goal cushion being whittled down to 5 in the span of about 2 minutes.
Gary Hanley, 5'9", 155 pounds. He's really thrown his body around out there with abandon today. And it has probably helped maintain the momentum for Loyola, even though at sometimes they were down as many as 7 goals. Some really good hitting on the far sideline.
Some great hitting all over the field.
This is their last opportunity.
No question. Last opportunity for both teams, and you can see the speed and quickness, the great stick work of Adelphi proving to be the difference. Here's Ed Hughes going into his one-on-one.
Nice change of direction by Eddie Hughes. Falls down. Dalsis does not seize the opportunity, though.
Dalsis is not anxious to go over the head anymore, it looks like, either. He's letting Hughes make his fakes without sacrificing any of his position.
Kenny King being picked up by Mo Bozell. And once again, King doing the same thing Hughes is doing, just taking his time, running seconds off the clock.
Paul Doherty's instructed these guys to go for good shots and good shots only. He doesn't want them going with reckless abandon to the goal, giving up the ball and having Loyola come down and possibly whittle the 5-goal margin to less.
Nice feed opportunity passed up there by King.
Watch the double team. Here comes the double team.
Bozell can't pick it up, though. If you don't get the ball back, the double team becomes a fruitless effort. Controlled by Eddie Hughes. You can hear it calling for Eddie Hughes. A man wide open in front of the goal. Hughes does not see him. Turns back, drops the stick, and it's content to settle down. Here it is, 55 remaining in this game.
Cat and mouse game. Adelphi being very patient.
Ali Vicolo tries to feed the ball quickly inside. He tries to get it in number 10, Steve Olcott, and that ball shot over top of the goal, but Adelphi will get it back.
Adelphi has to look for 2 things. They have to be patient with the ball, which they are doing, but they have to look for the double team to come from Loyola. Loyola needs the ball to score. They have to make up a 5-goal difference to even tie the game. So Adelphi, even though they're patient, can look for the double team and hopefully take advantage of it.
Hughes now driving in, looking inside, a little hop, skipping, and jump. Nice turn, change of direction, looks across the crease, and the feet almost got through there, but was knocked down alertly by number 22 for Loyola, Steve Dalkarian. Feeding a beautiful speed down the pipe, and a shot and a score by number 6, Pat Burke. And that may be the icing on the cake. Loyola now trailing 15-9, 8 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the game.
Great shot by Burke. I think it's Art Whitmarsh, number 20, who comes in, draws the play. That's Whitmarsh into Burke. Burke rolls away from the defender, sees that he has a shot, comes in 2 more steps. Dawson ducks, and McCloskey couldn't get a good read on it. And that is a killer kind of a goal that puts him up 15-6, a 6-goal deficit with only 8 minutes left, 8.5 minutes left in the game.
Now facing off for Loyola will be number 21, Mike Fiocco. And facing off for Adelphi, of course, number 3, Kevin Meinson.
Fiocco with a severe bruise on his left thigh that he got in the Salisbury State game. He is their face-off specialist, but he's playing hurt. Loyola pulling out all their guns, knowing this is the last game of the season.
Ball pops straight up in the air and picked up by one of the defensemen, Wade Dowsett. They get it over to...
Fast break with Fiocco.
But Fiocco's about to be cleaned out. He turned at the last minute, just about saw it in time. Over to Scotty Hahn. Hahn drops the ball. Picked up by Gary Hanley. Hanley looks back across. He's got a man open on this side. Scotty Hahn, but Hanley doesn't see him. Now feed into Hahn, and the ball... Nice shot and scores. The ball went over Hahn's stick. And went into Chris Gang's stick. And Chris Gang, I believe, has his 3rd goal of the game. As Loyola comes back to within 5, showing 15-10. 8 minutes and 2 seconds remaining in this game.
Let me tell you something about Chris Gang. This guy is a sweet-looking freshman. He is tremendous. He gets the feed from Hanley. Hanley comes out front. Chris Gang rolls around. He sees that it's an unsettled situation, that the goalie may not be set. He reels and throws a nice high shot underneath the pipe. Chris Gang has just scored his 3rd goal of the last 5 goals scored for Loyola. This guy's doing it single-handedly.
Leading now with 8 minutes and 2 seconds remaining in this game. Keep in mind, this is the 4th appearance for Loyola on ESPN, and they have never lost on ESPN television. Pick up inside there by Fiocco. Fiocco's checked away, though.
Fiocco's weakness is, Bob, he doesn't...
Tony Gold with a nice roll dodge, whirling through 2 men. Puts the ball back to Hanley. Hanley's going to have to put some pressure on. A quick feed outside, the shot is scored! A beautiful goal! Scored by number 19 for Loyola, Ben Hagberg. And Gary Hanley has another assist. And Loyola battles back to within 4. They now trail 15-11. 7:40 remaining in the game.
What a tremendous goal. Hanley has had a hand in each of the last 5 scores. Hanley's doing it single-handedly, as All-Americans tend to do in their last game. But watch it come down here. Hanley gets the feed from way out in back. He's looking for somebody out in front. Feeds out in front to Hagberg. There's Hagberg, number 19. He fires it offside, just hits the inside of the pipe and goes in behind Shelley. Shelley has been shell-shocked the last 5 minutes, and it's a turn of events here as the momentum goes to Loyola with 7 minutes left. Yes, they can do it. In Lacrosse, you can score 4 goals in a very short order.
Now the face-offs become critical. We see that Meinson's not getting him as cleanly as he was before, but Picola comes up, and Meinson has a fast break. If he can pick the ball up, looks inside, looks across the backside, does not give the ball up to Eddie Hughes. Instead slows it down.
Well, they've got to think about what they want to do now. Do they want to run that control offense, or do they want to open that up and get some more goals?
Bounce shot taken by Picola, bounces over top of the goal, and run out of bounds. That'll go back to Adelphi. 7:14. The clock is still running, and the whistle would blow. That's not exactly cricket.
Bob, 15-11, a 4-goal deficit. Again, Paul Doherty has to make a decision. Do you want to try to break the momentum and score a goal? Do you want to sit on it for 7 minutes and try to keep that 4-goal margin and go ahead and take the victory? Loyola certainly has the momentum, and let's see what happens with this offensive situation with Adelphi.
Delay of game being called against Paul Doherty.
Paul Doherty's kicking the dirt. He is really mad. The team's really hopped up.
We're not quite sure what it is, but ordinarily delay a game means you fail to get all your people all the people on the field before play starts.
Well, of course, they're initiating more and more rules every year to try to keep the game of lacrosse moving faster.
They have a 25-second timer on each official, and when they're ready to put the ball in play, they press the button on the timer, and if play doesn't start, your buzzer goes off, and somebody's going to pay a penalty, and that's usually possession of the ball, unless you are playing defense, and then, of course, it's a 30-second penalty.
Absolutely, and that even applies to face-offs. If you go down on the face-off and you don't move into position properly, they're upholding that position. They're saying that it was a stall, or not a stall, but a delay of game. Too much time, and the ball goes to Loyola.
Now, official Al Blau going over to find out.
Here's Paul Doherty. You can tell he is really upset. He knows the momentum has had a 180-degree turn in the last 5 minutes, Bob, and this can be critical.
The official, we have an official timer here, and that's Joe Whitmer, the 4th official on the field. Clearing the ball here is very, very important for Loyola. They must get it upfield quickly. Adelphi has their riding attack in. Number 1 would be Ron Clofer, number 12, Art Etro, and number 13, Mickey Bowen. Ball still going loose. Possession picked up now. Tony Gold looks inside to Dave Maines. Maines looks back quickly to number 9. Would be Neil Barthel. He rolls it and fires and scores. Unbelievable. Gary Hanley came in and scored with Barthel on a great picture-perfect fast break. And Paul Doherty's team is really
Adelphi has seen the 8-goal lead whittled down to 3 goals with 6 minutes left. 5 goals by Gary Hanley, and I guarantee you he's got 3, 4, or 5 assists. He's dominating the game for Loyola, and what a pretty play this was.
Loyola now trailing only by 3 goals. As we see it coming up right here. Here's Barthel rolling down. Looks across the opposite side where the other man should be. And there he is, Gary Hanley, who fires and scores. The 12th goal for Loyola. Only down by 3. Plenty of time left now. 6:40 remaining in this game.
For my stats, unofficial of course, I have Hanley putting a hand in with either a goal or an assist in the last 5 of the last straight goals by Loyola. Hanley's taking a hand. He's doing it all by
once
himself.
again by Loyola. Good hitting in there. The ball rolling loose. Loyola really putting the pressure on now. Ben Hagberg looking for an opening, and he finds it quickly up to Mike Fiocco.
They'll try to get Fiocco out of the game because he's hurt. Now he's in there for face-off purposes only. Let's see what they do. On the fly, they should try to get him out. They're not doing it. Maines has the ball. They're sticking with this midfield, and Loyola really has the momentum.
One of the reasons they can't get Mike Fiocco out is because the whistle has not been blown, and you must have a stoppage of play before you can substitute after a face-off.
Absolutely. Again, they're trying to speed the game up and keep it interesting for the fans.
Mark Brennan driving in, has the ball checked away. They've got to move the ball. Nice check there, but the ball is... Brennan fires and scores! Brennan fires and scores in a sweep, and Loyola moves back to within 2. That's all St. Vincent's the first quarter. It's now Adelphi 15, Loyola 13. 5:45 remaining in this championship game, and Coach Paul Doherty takes a timeout for Adelphi.
He calls a timeout, and it's well needed because here comes Loyola. The Greyhounds have whittled the margin to 2 goals with 5 minutes left. Mark Brennan out of New York, one of the best all-around middies on the team. He gets a check out front, but he sticks with it. Look at him, the ball's down, he stays with it. Being played defense by 1, 2, even 3 players. He comes around for the right-handed shot, fakes once, now he takes it, winds it underhand past Shelley. Shelley had it easy going in the first half, not too many shots on goal. This half, he's got to be talking to him. We can do it! 15 to 13, only down by 2. Paul Doherty calling a timeout to get his troops back together. What a great game.
Remember this, when the game is over, if Adelphi should lose, remember when they held the ball and didn't go to the goal, Eddie Hughes just jogging around behind the goal, ran about 2 or 3 minutes off the clock. And a stall sometimes, if it's called prematurely, can kill you.
It is, absolutely. It changes momentum. There's no question about it. When you have your things going well, you can change it 180 degrees by just changing your philosophy and your tactics. And it looks like that's what's happened. He gave Loyola a crack. They blew the door down, and here they come, 15 to 13. Only 2 goals down, and baby, that's almost a tie game in lacrosse with 5 minutes and 45 seconds left to go.
You can see the Loyola fans who came up here in 3 busloads.
We're going to talk to Coach Paul Doherty about who he would go to when he needs a goal late in the game.
As to whom we would turn to in a clutch, I think that'll depend a little bit on the flow of the game, how a player has been going over the course of the game. We'd like to go to the hot hand. On attack, that's usually been Ken King, number 9, or Eddie Hughes, number 30. On midfield, if our attack has been held in check, we would go to number 24, Dave Leisman, or maybe number 27, Pat Bottolato, a freshman who have been most successful for us this year offensively.
Eddie Hughes now has the ball, trying to get back against Wade Dowsis. He'll rosy it off to Kenny King. Bozell on King. They rosy it back to Hughes.
Very important, Bob. Adelphi getting the face-off again, and they've got Fiocco in there with that injured leg playing defense.
There's an errant feed across the middle, and Fiocco has the ball. We'll see what the call.
Fiocco played
called against Loyola, and Adelphi will gain possession.
I think Fiocco played the ball with the stick, with one hand on the stick. He came in with the hit, and he lifted the one arm and took the hit, which is illegal. You have to have 2 hands on. He pushed off the other guy. And watch his left arm. See his left arm go out? He pushes against the Adelphi player, playing with one hand on the stick. He pushed his other hand against the body. He is a little worried about that leg, and decidedly so.
Back to Hughes. We'll see if Hughes puts pressure on the goal or just does the same thing he did before, rosing it off to King. Hughes comes back out and stands behind the goal now, looking out front. Nice check inside. The ball knocked down. He tries to shoot. Now a loose ball picked up by one of the defenders of Loyola, but recontrolled by number 27, and that's Pat Bottolato.
Pat Bottolato, a freshman, and he's a good-looking freshman.
Shine a nice save with McCloskey. It picked off in midair by a midfielder for Loyola. He's hung up, and Loyola will have the extra man opportunity.
That's good. That's Mike Good who picked up that McCloskey save, picked that in midair and brought it back. Excellent lacrosse by Loyola. They've really gotten their defensive game together, Bob. And we're gonna show you this slash. Here's the Adelphi player on the field. Here's Bottolato coming in. He wants to shoot. He feeds to the crease, and the shot comes in. There's McCloskey with a beautiful save with a nice high hard shot. That thing could be anywhere from 60 miles an hour to 100 miles an hour. And now here's Mike Good bringing it up and double teamed by Adelphi. The teams are really hitting. Everybody's hustling, but that is going to cost them a minute in the penalty box. Loyola with an excellent opportunity to draw within 1 goal of Adelphi, who at one time in this half led by as many as 8.
Now, Neil Barthel will bring it in. Loyola has not been very effective with extra man today. We'll see if they can put it together.
Hanley's the
time
man.
draws short. 4:30 remaining in this game. Loyola in a 1-3-2.
Let's watch David Mays, number 4, who usually comes through with a cut
There's
on the
cut
crease.
with Gavrelis sneaking in on the near side. Back out front. Gavrelis pulls out to a high post. Loyola being very patient. They notice the critical goal. Back out. The shot overfed over Chris Gang's head as the ball rolls loose. They'll try to keep it back in the offensive end of the field. Picked up nicely by one of the defensemen for Adelphi. Now back. Bozel loses it. Recontrolled by number 5, Ramey Ward. Randy picked it up. Loyola, Jack Ramey. They feed back over to Hanley. They throw the ball away. They throw it away.
Unbelievable. Hanley may think or sleep on that pass for months to come because he had an extra man situation, a chance to draw within 1, and he overthrew the midi out top. And then Ramey came in after having a great defensive play on the clear and overthrew Hanley in the back line.
We'll see a press ride. Loyola only 2 for 9 on extra man, and that could be the key to this game.
Absolutely. There's the little things that count when you have 2 excellent teams.
Look at the speed being demonstrated here by the defenseman for Adelphi, and that's number 4, Eddie Montague, the All-American defenseman.
Montague is tremendously fast. He scored the second goal of the game on a fast break.
By Neil Barthel. They got an open man in front of the goal. He got an open man in front of the goal. He turns and scores! Number 8, Tony Golden, scores with a beautiful pickup from the midfielder coming down, and Loyola now only trails by 1, 15-14, 3:32 remaining in this game.
Absolutely incredible. Here's Golden on the fast break. This is exactly what the Adelphi team wanted to take away from Loyola. They wanted to get them out of the transition game. They are absolutely devastating. They're tremendously potent on this. Here he comes down. This is Hagberg. Hagberg comes down and feeds off to the Golden. Golden sees the opportunity and puts it in the left upper corner. And Loyola, amazingly, only 1 goal down with 3 minutes left. At one time, we're behind by 8 goals in the second half.
Mikey controls the all-important face-off. They have a fast break set up. Bobby Picola comes in. We're going to have a late hit, I think. We'll see what happens. Scotty Hahn with a forearm, and that may be a penalty they didn't want to commit at this point.
Why isn't I'm talking as if I'm a fan, Bob, but why wouldn't they throw a flag on that? It was a fast break.
He wasn't inside the box, I think.
Here you see Scotty Hahn coming in. The pass had already been made. Scotty Hahn made the hit. Lucky for Loyola, it was a fast break for Adelphi. Let's see if they can stop this extra man situation.
Back to Eddie Hughes. Back out front to Picola. Over to Meissen.
You hear the Loyola fans chanting.
Meissen doesn't want to sweep and shoot. They want to take a good shot. And he throws it away. He throws it away on extra man. The ball's going to go out of bounds and over to Loyola. 3 minutes and 6 seconds remaining in this game. Loyola trailing 15-14.
Paul Daugherty going crazy because his team is not taking advantage of an opportunity to get that 2-goal cushion. Now Loyola has it. All they want to do is sit on it to their even up and go back to their offense to try to tie the game. Bob, if you would have told me 5 minutes ago that this game had a possibility of being tied, I would have thought the sun was affecting you.
McCloskey better come up the field. He's not going to do any good rosing around the goal. It's the last time he can go around. He goes around one more time. That's right, they're down a man. He can go around more than once.
No stalling when you're down a man. McCloskey can do this until they're even up.
Time running off the clock. 2:44 remaining.
We can't call it. The referee call it. We all want to get a reading on this.
Counting the men. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I only see 5 men on the field.
There is no stalling. Here, they might change this play. He is. The referee is changing the call. He initially called stalling. He realized his mistake, and they're back out with the ball.
The ball will go back over to Loyola behind the goal.
There is no stalling when you're a man down.
You can only go around the goal 1 time if you're even up.
Loyola with a miraculous comeback, only 1 goal down, 15-14, with 2 minutes and 41 seconds left. They have a chance to tie this game.
Waiting now for the whistle. We're not quite sure why it hasn't been blown. Now there it is. Loyola should get all the midfielders they can in to play to bring this ball and clear it. They've got Dave Maines back there, their best midfielder, trying to get by Tommy Rotan.
There's still a man down. He should try to get to McCloskey and let McCloskey work around the goal area.
24 stepped in the crease, the ball is automatically cleared, and that was not
for
something
Ed
you want to do.
Montague,
Eddie Montague was the man with the...
chasing Maines, right? He came across, stepped in the crease, and that gives Loyola an automatic clear. And here they have possession with 2.5 minutes left. They're going to have every opportunity to tie this game, in which case we may have an overtime, a sudden death overtime in the Division II.
The most critical offensive series of the game for Loyola. Dave Maines with the ball. Tony Golden pulls off the crease, does not get the feed. Maines draws a double team, feeds across, the ball knocked down, not the best feed he wants to take, I can tell you that. Picked up nicely on the far side over there by number 33 for Adelphi, Rich Lip, and that opportunity killed for Loyola.
You're right, Bob, it wasn't a good feed.
Backed up nicely out front.
This is incredible. Adelphi just got a great opportunity to keep the ball. They were changing on the fly, Bob. They changed the midfield on the fly, and Hughes went to the goal, which you don't want to do. Normally, you sit down and your players come in.
1:43 remaining. 1:43 remaining in this game. Adelphi leading 15-14. Maines with a good defensive play. Loyola desperate now to get that last goal to tie this game. They can't get the ball away as Adelphi pulls out.
Now, Adelphi can be caught for stalling here, too. They must be warned once, but if the referee warns them to move the ball in, they've got to advance toward the goal. There is no stalling in the game of lacrosse.
Here comes Kenny King. He's going to shoot if he pulls in. They feed inside him, and that's the goal scored by number 24, Dave Leisman, and that may be all she wrote. Adelphi gets their 16th goal. They now lead by 2. 1:14 remaining in this game.
Dave Leisman, the best midfielder on this Adelphi team, could have a goal that they're going to remember for a long time. Here we come in. King sees Leisman up top. Leisman takes the shot about 8 yards up on top of McCloskey, and that could be the one that really breaks Loyola's back. You go back to the other end of the field, and David Maines, the great midfielder for Loyola, had a bad, maybe an ill-advised feed to the crease to Tony Golden, so the two top midfielders are having a big hand in the deciding goal in this game.
Right now, the pressure on Mike Fiocco, number 21 for Loyola, and Kevin Meitzen, number 3 for Adelphi, as the face-off is very, very critical here.
Fiocco, again, a specialist in the face-off. He'll be replaced as soon as by Jack Ramey, as soon as they can get him out of the game. And he's done a good job this half in facing off.
Meitzen controls. He's knocked down by Scotty Hahn, but the ball picked up anyway by Altcoat. They roll into Eddie Hughes across the slide to Pat Barton. He scores. Into Kenny King. Kenny King scores that 17th goal for Adelphi on a quick fast break, started by number 27, Pat Bottolato for Adelphi.
Unbelievable. And here, that's how fast the momentum can shift. Loyola had their chance, and with the momentum going their way, they could have won it all. Here we're going to take it from the face-off. There's Fiocco not getting in a good position, and again, the double hit Chris Gang coming in from the wing, but now Bartolato comes in with a fast break. He dishes it off to the wing, and here comes Hughes. Hughes sees that King is open up top, and King gets the left-handed shot past McCloskey, and unbelievably, there's now a 3-goal margin with a minute left. There's a lot of words out there, as you might imagine. Loyola pretty disappointed to come back and be within one shot of tying the game, and then in the space of 22 seconds being down by 3 goals. A tremendous game, but now there's a little bit of a heat, a little bit of words on the field. The crowd's going crazy. The hometown crowd are very happy now, 3-goal margin with a minute left. Fantastic game.
We certainly want you to stay around at the end of this game, because we're going to try to trying to interview the winning coach and some of the key players in today's game. Leaf will be down on the field for that after the final whistle.
Fantastic game. Division II championship. Adelphi being here for the 3rd year in a row. Loyola coming in very stiff in the first half, but in the first quarter especially. They came back 8 goals down in the second half and brought the game back to within 1 goal with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. Had the ball, could have taken a shot, and just like that, lost possession. Adelphi came back with their blinding speed, good stick work, and dumped it in.
But he now as Meinson picks it up. .59 seconds remaining, and we'll see what that call was coming up.
Well, you talk about a switch in momentum, Bob. This game has been up and down. It started off, and Adelphi looked like they're going to score 100 goals. They came in the second half. Loyola whittled back. They got a good margin going. And 8 goals down in the third quarter. Loyola caught on fire and brought it down to a 1-goal difference with 2 minutes left.
Now Adelphi will
just
run.
that fast came back.
Adelphi will try to run this last 51 seconds off the clock. They have to put the ball, keep the ball in the box. They have not been warned yet. Eddie Hughes back behind the goal. Lifts the feed. 41 seconds showing on the clock. This championship lacrosse game, it's been everything it was supposed to be. And there's a shot taken inside. Picked off McCloskey. McCloskey nailed as he by number 6.
Burke, illegal procedure on Burke. He came into the crease and he checked the
Loyola have a
goalie
clear.
stick. Well, neither of these teams, Adelphi has to be tremendously pleased because they played a great game, had a little bit of a lull in the middle where Loyola, the good team that they are, came across. Let's take a look at the crease. Burke will be coming across on that. McCloskey made a nice deflection there. He comes out, gets the ball. Now, when he has possession of the stick, you cannot touch his stick or his body. Burke came across and made that infraction. Loyola gets the ball.
Loose ball push calling up on loose ball push being called against number 23, the big defenseman for Adelphi, Jeff Milliken. Only 29 seconds showing on the clock. This game is all but history. Adelphi University will be the Division II champions as they continue to hit out there and tempers begin to flare. The ball picked up by Tommy Rotans. He's going to try to run it over. 13 seconds showing on the clock. He's going to pour in towards the Loyola goal. He may take the last shot. He takes a shot wide of the goal with 8 seconds showing on the clock. And it's going to be Adelphi. Adelphi is going to wear the crown. They have been in this game 3 of the last 4 years. Last year they were defeated down at UMBC by the lopsided score of 23-11. This year they're going to take the trophy home and keep it here in Garden City, Long Island. Putting down McCloskey is going to try to clear the ball the length of the field. Throws it all the way up. You hear the crowd counting it down. And that's the final whistle. Adelphi University has defeated Loyola 17-14. As you see all the joy on the side of Adelphi University, everybody congratulating everyone. So stay tuned. We'll be back in a moment with some post-game interviews. University, where Adelphi has just beaten Loyola 17-14 to win the NCAA Division II Lacrosse Championship. And down on the field right now, we have Lee Felsmo with the winning coach and 2 of the outstanding attackmen of today's game.
Coach Daugherty, a tremendous game. Congratulations. Did you expect, I don't think you expected being 8 goals up in the third quarter to have Loyola come back, storm back, and be only 1 goal away with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left.
Well, we didn't expect it, of course, but they're an outstanding team, and you can't give them the opportunities. We let down a little bit. We got a little bit overconfident. I think to their credit, they came and made it very interesting for us, and to our credit, we got the goals and the face-offs when we had to.
Your team definitely did all the right things. We mentioned in the first half, you dictated just about every phase of the game. You took away Loyola's game. Then in the third quarter, it looks like maybe you changed a little bit and went to more of a ball control. You think that had a big impact on changing the momentum and giving Loyola opportunities?
I don't think so. I think what we got involved with, there was a little bit more personalization of the game. We started to talk to them, they talking to us, and it diluted our concentration, especially on the defensive end. Once we got our composure back and maintained a little bit of emotional control, then we were able to come back in the game. If you recall, we did play very well in the third quarter with control of the ball. We held it for periods of time and scored. And when we let down a little bit, they're good enough that they can come back and put it in your net. And
absolutely, and to your credit, your team is very deep with speed and talent. That was evident today. Loyola came back to within 1 goal. Let's bring in 2 of the MVPs, if we'll call them that. Pat Burke and Ed Hughes. Come in tight, guys. We have about half the team's goals right here in front of us. Tremendous game. You're both captains, 2 of 4 captains on the team, and probably one of your biggest wins, I would have to say. How do you feel about it?
I think it's one of my biggest wins, that's for sure, but I don't know, we all came out fired up, and the other team they came out at us, but I think we took care of them. We played as a team, and we got into a little transition, but we came back. I think we played as a team in the end. That's what counted. We came back.
Thank you. Ed Hughes, Mr. Everything. Ed, the first half you really did a number. Underhand scoop shots, you tried some behind the head and all over the place. First team All-American. How did this game stack up with your career here, this being your last game at Adelphi?
I tell you, it was a great win, and I really enjoyed it. It was one of the better wins I've ever had. And
late in the game, Ed, your team being so fast, so skilled, what did you think when Loyola came storming back? You came within 1 goal. They had a chance to even tie the game with a shot. You got the ball back, and you guys did the number. What was the thinking on the Adelphi team at that point?
At that point, I really started to worry because last week we lost to Harvard. In the last minute and 30 seconds, they came back and scored 4 goals on us. And I really started to sweat, but I knew once we got control of the ball, the attack, that we could go on their defense. And that's just what happened.
Okay, well, congratulations to both of you guys. A tremendous game against a good Loyola team. And good luck to you in the future. Now back up to Bob Smith for more stats.
We see the crowd beginning to file out now. We'll see just how much Adelphi dominated this game. Even though it was 17-14 in the score, Adelphi took 61 shots to Loyola's 37. And, of course, Steve McCloskey turning back 20 of those. He had 20 saves to the goalie Shelley's 10 for Adelphi. Face-offs, once again, Adelphi controlled. And in this then the late part of the game, of course, face-offs became a major factor. Clearing about equal. The shooting percentage for Loyola actually much better than Adelphi, but they pelted the goal, and they, of course, scored Loyola 17-14. Extra man goals, not too critical, although Loyola had more opportunities. Both teams scored 2 extra man goals. Now down on the field, Leaf has losing coach Jay Connor and 2 of his outstanding players.
Jay, it's Coach Jay Connor. It's tough to call losing when you're coming back, looking back from the score and being within 1 goal with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in this great game against Adelphi in the Division II championship. You were 8 goals down in the 3rd quarter. You came back to within 1 with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. What made the big change?
You're right, Leaf. I don't like the word losing either. I prefer second place. And I don't feel like a loser either because it's a real pleasure to be associated with these guys. What made us come back? I think it was the character of the team more than anything else. The character of the team that gets guys out there to practice a half hour early to run 2 or 3 miles before practice, before I come out there and put them through their paces. The character that it takes to come back after really not playing a very good ball game for 3 quarters and still knowing that it's within you and that you can do it. And
Loyola really showed a lot of character. And again, we talked about your program, Jay, and how fortunate Loyola has been over the last 6 years to really upgrade the program, and much to your success as a coach. Let's bring in Gary Hanley, your co-captain and All-American, and the guy we talked about earlier in the game. Gary, come in between us. A great game. I don't know the exact stats, but I know one thing. My own personal record's up there. You had a hand in probably 7 of the last 8 goals. Really took charge out there. And I had mentioned to Jay before, we thought maybe that was crucial for Loyola to be in this game. How do you feel personally that your game developed today?
Well, we couldn't get our game going. You know, we had a lot of unassisted goals in the beginning of the game, and when we finally got rolling, all of our goals were assisted. I think in those last 7 or 7 shots in a row, so just about every one was assisted. And that's what we said all game. We got to move off the ball. We've got to move the ball, and take the good shot and make your shot count. The goalie played good for 3 quarters, and we finally got to him. Once we started running our offense like we can do it, we came back, and there's no question we could have won that game.
Adelphi has a very strong defense, and of course we talked earlier again with your coach about the tough time you've been having as a senior. Being an All-American twice, it's tough to come out and do it maybe 3 times in a row. You've had some tough games. You had a game against William & Mary where you didn't score at all. Did you come into this game saying, hey, I want to prove something, this is my last game, I'm going to do it today?
Yeah, there was a mid-season slump, but this was it. I've been playing lacrosse for 10 years, and what do you play for 10 years for? And I couldn't just fizzle out after the success of the last 2 years and the way the program was going up. It was just in there to just play a good game, and just give it everything I had. Maybe break a leg or, get knocked unconscious, but there was the last one. There's no tomorrow.
Well, you did dominate, and congratulations again. The word losing is not applicable to these 2 guys. Loyola, a great game, losing to Adelphi, 2 great teams, Division II. Back up to Bob Smith for some final words in today's game.
As you see, the Sylvan setting here in Garden City, Long Island. It has been an outstanding game, and as Coach Jay Connor said, he does not feel like he's a loser. He's a second-place finisher. A great effort put on by Loyola as they roared back from being down 8 goals to come back to within 1. Adelphi University, however, prevailing at the end, 17-14. Adelphi University, the NCAA Division II champion.
This is ESPN.